didn't have to be Ariel. She could be Kenisha. She could be somebody else at a different place and tell a new story. Her cousin, but a different mermaid, black mermaid. All of a sudden now, this little mermaid turned Ariel. And Ariel in the original story from the German authors were white.
So what was the
German.
key positions though on it though? Like who stood for what side of it and what? Like I ain't
You
really
need
catch up.
logic. Logic was the one fighting. I just didn't like Chef. Chef took his argument right and turned it into somehow Logic don't like old ladies cooking or some shit. That's when it just threw me all off. I didn't know what the hell they was talking about. So Logic
Yeah,
what's he doing with them honey
somebody gotta
packs? So
catch
he'll
you up
let
to
us know.
speed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we waiting on you, Logic, because I get it, but if you just mean Africanized as a term for black, then I could follow it somehow, but I don't really follow it no other way.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Got you two donuts.
Whatever African American do, or even the African diaspora, gonna be Africanized because you Africanized American any damn way. So everything we do is Africanized.
But don't we got to differentiate? Okay, so my question, though, Gullah,
Yeah, but I'm saying I thought they were saying it came from there, so that's why we should, I don't know, like it's implemented.
It's some shit that Karinga that studied some shit, some Bantu shit, basically based on the Bantu harvest tradition, but he put his own spins and shit on it.
Oh, okay, that make more sense.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When we say Africanized, Africa don't celebrate Kwanzaa, or am I being too literal?
No, they
Nah,
don't.
They don't, according to this, what I'm reading.
So it can't be Africanized. I know it's too much to say African Americanized, but it can't be Africanized because I know they're not over there celebrating. So, I thought this was purely like some African American shit.
Kwanzaa in Africa is a river, and Kwanzaa in Africa, and especially in Angola, is the name of their currency in Angola.
Love it. See, but that's literally what you do. You bring that to damn near every conversation. Now I know Kwanzaa's a river. Didn't even know.
Go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No.
I'm chomping at the bit because that shit kind of blew. That shit kind of blew me yesterday, right? So yesterday. So I mean, not yesterday, but Kwanzaa by itself, bro. The whole point of Kwanzaa is to bring those African words that mean them, responsibility, whatever else they mean.
Swahili word.
Yes, a Swahili word. I know that much. Yeah.
Right. So that's what it's actually about. So when I'm saying they trying to Africanize it, why they don't just say responsibility, right? Why they gotta say emotion? So it's something you acting like. I ain't gonna say you, but let's not sit here and act like there's a reason why they trying to use those particular words and those particular principles, right?
Yeah, somebody trying to learn an African language or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're trying to Africanize it.
Yeah.
Right. We don't technically use the word umoja or whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? We say responsibility. So that's what I mean by you trying to Africanize it. And no, you know what I'm saying? That'd be kind of silly for them to try to run from Kwanzaa. Is not them. It's not his interpretation of trying to Africanize Christmas. Even if you read the article yesterday, the whole point of it is to give a version of it that's quote unquote untainted by white supremacy. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what that shit is all about.
Yeah, I feel you.
So what's the history on it? Anybody in a short, non-Wikipedia, non-ChatGPT? So
yeah, it's a nigga from
Karinga, somebody named Karinga created Kwanzaa, correct? Or is that incorrect?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So why did he do it? He just did it, and we just ran with it, or what was the
Wikipedia says during the aftermath of the Watts riots, as a non-Christian, specifically African-American holiday, Karinga said his goal was to give Black people an alternative to the existing holiday of Christmas and give Black people an opportunity to celebrate themselves and their history rather than simply imitate the practice of the dominant society. So like I said, it's just a alternate fucking Christmas celebration and look like.
Yeah, because he think Christmas is a white holiday. even though it's a Middle Eastern holiday that white people use. But
Yeah, he said he believed Jesus was psychotic and Christianity is a white religion that black people should shun. I don't know if this is his words, but this is on the Wikipedia.
that's what he. Yeah, that's
So
the
there
point.
was a time black people was against Christmas.
I don't think that's what it's saying. I think
Who saying
he
Christmas is not a white holiday?
Yeah,
Who
it's
here saying Christmas is not a
they're
white
against
holiday?
this on
they're
the wiki, bro.
against
So you
white
know what I mean. I
people.
don't know.
Most of the conscious community is against Christian. They think it's white and shit, white
Oh,
holiday
so he said
shit.
he was
Man, them
inspired.
niggas, half the country community, 90. I say I'm gonna go further.
He read about a Zulu festival and
95%
got
of the
inspired.
conscious community open gifts on Thursday. I promise you that. And if they got kids, I'm sure they gave their kids something on
All right,
Thursday.
here you go.
Miss
According
me
to
with
the
that.
Ranger, the name
Let me say
Kwanzaa.
first, not for run back, but let me say something. Christmas is a white holiday. The tradition of even the Christmas tree was
That's
celebrated
German.
by Queen Victoria, German husband, when he brought
Yeah.
the tree.
It's Jamaican.
It's a
Okay.
white
Romanian.
holiday.
And let
Oh,
me
it
tell
is
you something about
celebrated.
that white holiday. Some of my greatest childhood memories is from that white holiday, bro.
Yeah, but
Well, I
it's
mean,
a white
I'm
I don't
keeping
think
it.
it's a,
I'm
But do
keeping
you
it.
accept that it's a white
Christmas
holiday?
is just like a
I
social
don't know
holiday.
if
That
it's
shit
a
ain't got
white
shit to do with no
holiday, Stu. You
fucking.
making it.
That
I
shit
mean,
ain't
you
got nothing to
making
do
a
with no
great
damn
argument, but
Jesus
I don't know.
or nothing.
You making
Christmas
a
It
is
great
a
is.
social
argument.
holiday.
You got to
Celebrated.
say more than just Queen Victoria and all of that, and say
No,
white,
but
and then I'm gonna fall for that. I need
it's
more than that.
the Christmas tree origins in Germany.
I don't feel
They
like
never.
that. I
You
gotta
can
check.
check that. The Christmas
Yeah,
trees
nah,
are
that,
You don't
he's
want
German.
to. You
accurate.
don't
He's
want to get
accurate
into the
for that.
origin of Christmas, bro. It's
That's
hard.
accurate.
You don't do that.
But
You got
we
a lot
gotta
to it. You gonna mess.
we gotta be honest and say that shit ain't just about no Jesus and Christianity no more. That shit is a social
No, it's not.
celebration.
But
Yeah,
it's from
it's
white
definitely.
people. We have to be truthful. We can't deny that. That is a white people holiday. That it came over in the 1800s because it was never celebrated like that before.
I mean, if we don't call it that, we might as well call it Saturnalia. Then I think it's
It was
changed.
never celebrated. Christians, even in the Middle East, never celebrate.
But
It's
if you,
when the
you can go to
Europeans
Saudi
celebrate.
Arabia, they had Christmas trees up in their house in Saudi Arabia now. Like, so it's not just a
Yeah,
Christian holiday.
But
See, like, okay, so this is where it kind of makes some kind of sense, Brad, because like if you actually dig through Christmas, you can see a connection between Christmas and Saturnalia, right? You can see this as somewhat of a commercialized version of Krampus and Black Pete. You know what I'm saying? So you could actually make a case for it's really some disgusting shit. But
Can I?
so before we get too off topic, we
Yeah,
gotta. I'm trying to justify why do we need an African? And
But it's
that
not an
don't take the
African
fact
holiday
that it's
though.
really for the kids,
Logic.
and the kids need to have them good memories.
But hold on. So let me ask y'all a question. I didn't want to chat GPT, but I just chat GPT. Okay. So I didn't want to use it. Hazel Walton on the chat says she says, why are we talking about an Africanized holiday? Sure, not because others don't have, also Africans don't get to have. And then she says, so then she said, what are we arguing about? And I said, we're not arguing, we're trying to sort something out. And then she said, it isn't useless, but we don't need Kwanzaa. So I looked up Christmas, right?
It ain't an African holiday. Why they
Because
keep saying
Christmas
that?
is not a white holiday, though.
It's not. It's a Middle Eastern holiday.
Yeah, that's
I
what
looked
it's
it
about
up.
to go into.
I looked it up already. And
it was
Christmas
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a
yeah.
white holiday. Y'all gotta stop this.
Hold on. Let's see. Follow
How
the show.
Christmas came to African Americans was through white people and their understanding and their traditions of Christmas.
No, listen.
Ain't
It's a Middle Eastern version.
Ain't no Middle Eastern version of
But if you let me,
Christmas.
hold on,
You gotta let them finish, bro. You gotta let them finish. You got the whole thing.
Let me finish before you go, Gullah, before you go, Chef, because it's about to say half of what Chef just said. It says it's not a white holiday, but it was packaged and sold in a very European way that makes people feel that way. It says Christmas is based on Jesus of Nazareth, a Middle Eastern Jew born in Roman-occupied Judea. That's Palestine, West Asia, not Europe, not white. The earliest celebrations came from Egypt, Ethiopia, Syria, Asia Minor, and North Africa. Some of the oldest Christian churches are Ethiopian, Coptic, Egyptian, Syrian, and Armenian. So the white version comes from when Christianity moved into Europe, it got blended with Roman festivals, Germanic Yule, Nordic tree worship, and pagan solstice rituals. That's
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That's where the Christmas tree and all that shit come in. That's what I was gonna say. It got Germanized.
The reason why it
say the
feels
version
white,
we got is kind of white folk.
No, listen.
Right?
It goes into that. It says the reason why it feels white in America is because in America you get Coca-Cola Santa, Hallmark cards, Suburban Snow Christmas created by white Europeans. So they projected their version of Christmas onto the whole world, but that's not origin, that's marketing. So y'all both kind of right.
They put a Germanic deity on a damn Catholic saint. You know what I'm saying? That's Santa Claus. Santa Claus is basically Odin. Attributes of Odin put up on the damn Catholic priest that used to give out gifts.
So Stu P's is how they marketed it to us and brought it to us is white, but Christmas in itself is not a white holiday. But that's neither here nor there. What was the need to? I guess this happened in somebody's lifetime on this chat. So what was going on with Christmas that we had to create? Like when was this? What time period with Kwanzaa?
I thought it was the 60s.
What
right?
was the why did we have to? Was there like a backlash against Christmas where we just had to create something African or what? What was the onus behind Kwanzaa? Because if not, then logic is right. They took some white shit and Africanized it. He would be right.
I'm definitely right.
But it ain't African though. So how's it Africanized?
No, I mean, look, I know it's not something
he mean purely like the continent.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they practice it in Africa, but I'm saying that they're trying to incorporate some form of African culture into the day. Like that's the I guess the influence that you see behind the word, behind the principles, behind all the things that you
are saying because he chooses
doing.
African word.
I mean, it don't have to be.
It's a Pan-African version of Christmas. That's what it is.
It don't gotta be directly from Africa to be Africanized. I mean, soul food is Africanized than American food.
Hey, Gullah, don't take. I know this going to be because we trying to be literal, but I don't think he literally means African in the way probably you taking that as African. I think he just mean blackenized. It's just saying, you know what I mean? But it's because it's kente cloth and a word from Africa. He's saying Africanized, but he really saying blackenized. That's kind of what he's saying. But it's African because it's the Kwanzaa, the kente cloth, the emoja, and all of that. That's what it's kind of like what the white people did. It's kind of like, I got a good point. It sounds like black people did the same thing to Christmas that white people did.
Yeah.
To market it and mediate to all of us. Black people took Christmas and did the same shit. They did the same thing. They tried to like change it into something else. Yeah, thank you very much. Slap a coat of black paint on that shit and send it to black people. Make you feel good.
I mean, to me, the difference is you can blackwash. You can blackwash Santa Claus. You can get you a Santa Claus that's black.
Wait, is there
you can, you know what I'm saying?
I'm missing something.
You can listen to the music. You can listen to the music.
I don't think there's a Claus.
This is craziness.
My mother has a
I don't think ain't nothing wrong with you getting no black Santa Claus, bro. But what I'm saying is, ain't no need for you to be speaking Swahili on Christmas. Yo, that's what I'm saying.
Why not? It's the day after Christmas. What are you talking?
Man, hey, Chef, my bad, bro. I didn't know that I was messing your Kwanzaa up, yo.
Yeah, definitely. And the biggest problem is
let Chef cook. Let Chef, because he's the other person in the argument.
It's okay.
And Sister Safa,
the biggest problem is we tried, to go historical and prove that what we celebrate as Christmas is not celebrating a white holiday and their traditions. Like that's crazy. And then to turn around and just shit on Kwanzaa, right? After you give Christmas a fact, you don't want to acknowledge that it's some white shit.
Yeah.
You feel me? And the whole reason for Kwanzaa, right, was to give us some some
Own
our
tradition.
own traditions, right?
Feel good.
And y'all, what is
Yeah, but that's
you know
what
what?
that's
This is
what
nuts.
traditions.
Wait. You
That's what
just said
traditions are for.
This ain't a feel good. It's the shit on
But
it. To say
but
that
here's the
is to
thing, though.
basically
Let them
shit on
vent. Let
it
them
for no
vent. Let them
reason.
get it all out. Get it all out.
But ain't nothing
Let 'em
wrong
vent.
with feeling good though. Like I don't get.
Nobody
I
said
don't.
that, but hold on.
Like
Nobody
that.
said that. Y'all
He
see, this
said it
is
to
the
feel
part of
good.
the
Yeah, I
argument
don't
where y'all
get.
change it.
I
This
don't
is
get.
the part of the
You're
argument.
saying
Hold
it
Hold
on.
like
on, one at
it
a time.
don't
Let
mean
Chef
nothing.
finish. Let
Hey,
Chef
but
finish.
Chef, this is the Haskell. But this is the part of the argument. I don't want to change it. No, but there's nothing
It's
wrong
still
with
up
feeling
there
good.
asleep.
There's nothing wrong with feeling
You
good.
talking
All
about
we
Cole over
say
there?
is there's
Oh, I don't
I
something
ain't
know.
that
got no
y'all
problem
said.
with
Hold
Kwanzaa.
on,
I just
hold
want to put
on,
that
bro.
out there. I don't got no
But y'all
problem with it.
said that we had Kwanzaa didn't. Y'all said he gave us back something. We didn't have Kwanzaa before he created it, right? Is this like a? Is this is a new creation? Correct?
So y'all never heard of Kwanzaa. Y'all never been a part of
Yeah.
no Kwanzaa celebrations. This is
Nah.
just all alien to y'all.
No, I
I ain't
didn't
never
say
celebrated,
alien.
but I
No.
know
See, there you go.
I'm
You're
aware of
changing the
it.
argument
I
again.
ain't never
That's not.
celebrated it though.
That's the simple fucking question, bro.
Yeah,
I
but you're
said before
asking
he
like from
created Kwanzaa. Hold on. Before he created Kwanzaa, was there some celebration? Is this the?
What
Is
up,
it
bro?
a fruit of a previous celebration, or did
no.
he create
They
I
it in
did.
believe
They
you.
did
I
have.
believe you know more than what you're letting
They
on.
did.
Hey, well, okay, hold
Hold
on. I ain't
on.
gonna swear to
Let
God
me
today.
answer. Let me
I don't
answer
know shit
Brass's
about
question.
Kwanzaa. I don't feel like
Let me
ChatGPT
answer
and
Brass.
it's
Let
fucking
me answer your
Christmas.
I
question,
believe
Brass.
y'all know more than this. I'm not.
Hey, let me
I just
answer
know about the
Brass's question.
candles
Y'all
and
being funny.
Oh God, bro.
Hey,
Here we
Brad,
go.
slow down real quick. Let me answer your question, right? So I did read somewhere where they did have something called Black Christmas, and supposedly it was similar to what we in the Caribbean call Junkanoo, which is kind of like it's like a syncretized type of West African mix with the local culture or whatever. They have people like on stilts, and they wear these type of flashy outfits and stuff. So I think they had something called Black Christmas in America, from what I've read.
Did we celebrate? But I'm saying, did we have a celebration on December 25th or something in and around there that was similar to Christmas and it was rebooted as Kwanzaa, or did he just create Kwanzaa? That's my only question.
Oh, I don't know the answer to that one.
Right. Okay. I didn't think it was that stupid of a question, but apparently it was. Because I
I feel like he
don't
just
know
created
nothing.
Kwanzaa.
I know the word. I know you celebrate it for 7 days,
I
I
know you
think.
burn some candles or something
Yeah,
like
I know it's
that.
Moja and all of that, but I don't really know that much about Kwanzaa because we never celebrated it. I've never celebrated. Now here's the thing. We've had assemblies in school where they brought up Kwanzaa, and I remember the kente cloth, the orange cloth. But that's really, other than that, I don't know. Somebody was in here educating us to what it was, but it really just sounds like what logic is saying. So I'm trying to figure out, like, the actual point of the argument or the conversation is logic is saying, why do we have to take something white and Africanize it? Why?
Hold on, let me say
You
it the
don't
way
have
I'm
but
saying it. Let me say it the way I'm saying it, right?
Let them say it. Let them say it the way you
I
say it.
don't feel like there's no problem with African Americans buying a black Santa Claus, right? Listening to the Black Christmas carols, because we definitely did that shit way better than they did. Ain't nothing wrong with you blackenizing Christmas. But when you gotta speak Swahili, you taking it a step too far, right? And this is the reason why. Because now you opening the door for questions that people still seem to be struggling with today, right? You're trying to make this about African history. You're trying to make this about African language and African culture. And the whole thing is really supposed to be about anti-white supremacy. But you see how far away it takes you from it? Like just because you went out and bought some candles and now you speaking Swahili, don't sit up here and act like that's actually you doing something different. Y'all still, whatever the other traditions are, you're absolutely still not getting away from you celebrating Christmas and just calling it something different. Like let's not sit up here and do
Christmas
that.
is December 25th. What?
So you done changed the day, Chef?
No, listen.
Why are you saying that, Chef? Hold on, wait, let him finish.
I'm saying that you leave. Look, I'm saying that you leave the door open. You leave the door open for the same cycle that we in right now, where people overemphasizing the wrong thing, right? See, that's what I'm talking about.
Any holiday. Listen. So then it would be better if you will make that argument for all holidays, and I said that in my what's the name. If you have the same contention with all holidays, meaning they could be rendered, the original meaning can be rendered useless, right? And commercialized. If you have that same sentiment for all holidays, then it would be warranted. But to just target Kwanzaa when Kwanzaa is not Christmas, right? Christmas is December 25th. Kwanzaa starts December 26th. Do y'all get that? So you can still celebrate your Christmas, right? And then you can have your Kwanzaa celebration right after Christmas. So you don't have to get rid of one. If y'all love Christmas, I love Christmas. I ain't saying give away Christmas, but I ain't gonna shit on Christmas and uplift Kwanzaa. I know black people can do both. But to act like one is bad and one, y'all crazy.
I agree with you. Yeah, Posterius just said Kwanzaa is secular. Merry Christmas, Pos. It says Kwanzaa is secular. It is not a new creation, but a festivity and principles. It is not anti anything.
Brass, let me tell you something. Let me say something, please. The mere fact that Kwanzaa starts December 26th. December 26th for the European and the English is known as Boxing Day. Boxing Day is the day after Christmas that you box up the food that you couldn't eat or that was left, and you carry it out and you give it to the indigent, the homeless, and the destitute. So you start a holiday on December 26th, not realizing the historical of what December 26th represents. On December 26th is still Christmas to the Europeans, especially the English, the Canadians. Nearly 100 countries that the English occupy. The Americans don't use it. Trump is considering making it a holiday also. December 26th, Boxing Day, when you box up all that food that you couldn't eat that you normally throw away and give it to the less.
So this brother who
had holiday on Boxing Day.
Giving back to the community. That's what Kwanzaa is about.
So this brother was he know that black people was already is the holiday season, right? So now he got to take into consideration, right, that Europeans already got holidays in the season. We Negropeans, so we already in the holiday spirit, and so he can't make nothing around that time specifically for us because white people got holidays around that time. And somehow he's
when you say this brother, you talking about Karinga?
Yeah, Karinga. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then what Logic say, the different days and using the Swahili words. Like, yo, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with that.
I got an issue with that.
Right. So because what I said is we already have our own version of Christmas. You trying to
Kwanzaa was not created.
Not Christmas.
You acting like it's not something even.
Hold on, let's read from Karenga himself. He said Kwanzaa was not created to give people an alternative to their own religion or religious holiday. Many African Americans who celebrate Kwanzaa do so in addition to observing Christmas. He said he didn't want to alienate practicing Christians. So he actually changed his position once it kind of gained mainstream attention.
So ignorant. No, wait. Said so. Ignorant question.
It's on the Wikipedia.
No. Okay, no. I get it. Ignorant question. So it was created for the world, or it was created for African Americans?
I would say African Americans, according to this.
So if it was created for African Americans, then and here's the ignorant question: Why are we speaking Swahili? right? Or am I saying that wrong?
It's trying to connect you back to your African roots.
Okay.
Right? Like we had traditions and celebrations before we came in contact with slavery. So how I'm trying to figure out in what type of warped brain can you just start to say that something is wrong with that? I just like then read the principles. Like, what is bad about it? Can y'all just read the principles and tell me, say, yo, I can't fuck with that? Like what part of it is fucked up?
Chef, can I ask
No,
Chef?
listen.
Can I
Hold
say
up a
something,
second,
Chef?
bro.
Hold on, no,
got,
it's two P's. Let Logic get his shit off, and then come in. Let Logic get his shit off.
Then what one of those principles would you say you shouldn't be teaching children, or wouldn't be good for a community?
No, hold on. Let him go, Chef. Let him go, Chef. Let him go,
show me something.
Chef came ready to fight.
Yeah, Chef ready. Chef was pissed off yesterday. He just didn't want to respond. He did this morning. He just stayed on it. But go ahead, Logic.
So I already said black people got their own version of Christmas already. We got our own Christmas carols, right? You know what I'm saying? You can absolutely go to
Christmas.
Let them go, Chef. You gotta let them fight.
Go to the store, right? We can go to the store and blackanize Christmas, and the store actually help you do that. They got a black Santa Claus that you could buy. You go right to Home Depot and buy black Santa Claus, right? So I'm saying when you gotta have this other version, right? Let's not pretend like the other version is not a way of Karinga sneaking in African culture. That's what it's really about. You said it yourself. So it ain't the principles that's the problem. Why you can't just say responsibility? Why are you saying your moja? Right? Why are we trying to teach the Swahili to the kids, not the principles? Right? Why in the world are we trying to infuse that into the Christmas? That's what I'm saying.
Why can't you
trying to act like that's not what I'm saying, and I keep saying it.
Why can't you do both? And why you keep mixing up with Christmas? But what is wrong with teaching Swahili and teaching the principles? What's wrong with it? To African American people.
So learning Swahili is what we call black empowerment.
It's not about how come you always relate something to some blackity black struggle?
Because Milana Karinga said it's about black empowerment.
Oh shit, that is hilarious.
Milana Karinga said learning Swahili is about black empowerment. That's why I said it.
How come it can't just be about empowering as far as education? And
wait, he said learning Swahili was he said that?
It's in the article.
Where's this article? Can you post the article again? I want to see it. Can you post the article again?
Of the Black Power movement, according to
post it again.
Yeah, post the article. I want to read that real quick.
But
according to the Wikipedia, it's created on the tail of Black Power movements. But
what is the problem with learning these principles or reflecting on these principles? And
it's not the principles that I'm saying I have a problem with. Now, yesterday, to be clear, I definitely did say, and I still will stand on, I do not believe African Americans need a holiday to teach them how to be responsible. I still have a problem with that. That don't sound right to me. But that's a different conversation. So I'm saying if you took out a day to emphasize responsibility, why are you saying it in Swahili? So if you saying we just doing it just because, you being disingenuous. We don't like the Swahili portion of it shouldn't be what you trying to internalize. You're supposed to be trying to internalize the word that it means, right? We're supposed to be trying to internalize responsibility and group economics. Like, why are we speaking Swahili?
Why can't you learn both? I guess that's the question I'm still having. What is it about anything on the continent of Africa that you seem to have a problem with? You have a problem with African Americans?
You keep trying to tell me I have a problem with it. And honestly, sister, I'm trying to see if you got a problem with answering the question of why is speaking Swahili black empowerment?
It's learning another language, just broadening your scope is empowering. Just being able to say something else. And they said about 3-4 times that this is not a replacement for Christmas, but you keep adding Christmas in there. I'm confused about that.
That's because I'm not going to sit up here and play like that's not what's happening.
Hey, Rush, I got a question for you. I know y'all keep saying this isn't a replacement for Christmas. I know that. So, but don't, speaking of that, I know you got your shovel busy, wherever you at in Jersey.
Yeah, I do.
But then what was it's got to, for it to be strategically replaced, I mean, not replaced, for it to be strategically placed on December 26th. I know it's after Christmas, but
no.
So it's got it. No, it's the 26th, right?
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day, right? Boxing Day. So do you give gifts?
Yeah.
Does it have gifts?
Yeah. You get small gifts.
So don't it, I'm not saying this as a replacement, but you don't think at all it seems like they took a holiday and just kind of like you don't get that feeling at all? Or am I bugging on that?
Christmas do that to Hanukkah?
I don't know. You talking about the menorah and all of that?
Yeah, don't they give gifts on Hanukkah?
No, I don't know. But yeah, I guess they do.
Yeah,
so then, right. So then they took hold on. So what was first, Hanukkah or Christmas?
Two different celebrations.
Hanukkah what was first? Was Hanukkah first or was Christmas first? Like, were we celebrating Christmas and then the Jews created Hanukkah? That's my question.
No, Hanukkah's first.
Okay, so Hanukkah's first. So then then it ain't like Christmas because Hanukkah was there first. I'm saying Kwanzaa was in
like Hanukkah. Is Christmas a gentrification of Hanukkah?
No.
What? So,
no.
but Hanukkah, I mean Kwanzaa is blackety black Christmas.
I didn't say blackety black. I'm saying, but y'all trying to disassociate. Okay, so listen, you're trying to disassociate it from Christmas, but then I keep hearing. Then why do it on the 26th? It has to have something to do with Christmas.
That's
what would be the point?
Hanukkah ends on the 24th.
Well,
Christmas
Hanukkah was
comes
first.
on the 25th. But y'all have no problem with that.
I don't have no problem with none of it. You see my argument? I don't want that.
And Kwanzaa is not a day, a whole week.
I don't know if Hanukkah. No. Listen, what I'm saying, if Kwanzaa is just principles, right? If you're just supposed to recite these principles every day, then to me, it's just I don't think it's a celebration of this that, and the other. But if it's giving gifts and you're doing like if it's got some Christmas to it though, don't it? Don't it got some Christmas to it?
The principle is the main thing, but you don't have to give gifts. But people often do. You know, I mean, it depends on where you're from. You know, America's a huge country. So we all have different types of.
Does anybody in here celebrate Kwanzaa?
I mean, I don't celebrate it every year, but I've celebrated. Like,
no, not you per se. I'm talking about. Does anybody in here every day say these principles and whatever that we can find somebody that practices?
No, because I don't.
In my childhood, I'm about to say in my childhood, I did for a couple years. My daddy tried to instill it into our household. Like
what was it like, DQ? Give me an idea. So you did Christmas on the 25th. You got gifts. Then what? Then what happened?
Majority of it was education wise for my pops. We didn't get no gifts. He was basically Umoja, Ujama, Ujima, Kuchitakalia, Imani, Nia, all of it. Like he drilled that in my head. So that was the main reason for that. I didn't really get gifts for Kwanzaa. My granny might have gave me like a red, black, and green stocking cap or some shit like that. But it wasn't based on the gifts. It was more just understanding and instilling principles and going into the
okay, then there's nothing wrong. Then there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, because I just read on.
There's nothing wrong.
I just read on.
That's something else. You just instilling some shit in your children. I don't have a problem with
I just read. Y'all hear me, bro? Hello?
Go ahead, bro.
I was just saying, I was just reading on ChatGPT. It said it ain't no replacement. Like some people practice both, so it's not a replacement. They practice Christmas and Kwanzaa.
Yeah, so if it's not a replacement, or it's not really associated with Christmas, then I don't have a problem with it. What is wrong with extra principles for your children, even if they in Swahili or anything? Then it's cool. I'm cool with it.
And I'm gonna say Christmas ain't the only holiday you give gifts and shit. I mean, shit, Valentine's Day ain't imitating Christmas. You know what I'm
Only
saying?
thing you get on Valentine's Day
I
is
feel like
licking
they're
the
doing
bottle.
something else. I feel like this the premium package right here, Brass. You know when you go to the car lot and they give you and you want the leather and the navigation, gotta get the sunroof, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't just talk about the principles, bro. You gotta get the whole package. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I feel like they doing. You slipping in something totally unnecessary. Because if we wanted to make it all about the principles, wow, we speak
So
of
what is
Swahili,
Christmas
dog.
slipping in? What is Christmas slipping in?
Well, they slipping in all
I
type
don't
of
know, but
raggedy
you
ass
ease
shit.
up on Jesus.
But you're not going in on Christmas. So you can admit that Christmas is slipping all kind of shit in. You ain't really defining what Kwanzaa is slipping in. You just suspect it.
I said that they slipping in African culture. And I
And what
even said
is
during this same
that negative?
conversation. I said during this same conversation, right, that it ain't the principles that seem a little sketchy to me. It's the fact that we talking about African culture and speaking Swahili. That seems completely unnecessary to me. And at the end of the day, right, I'm trying to ask y'all to draw me a straight line between speaking Swahili and Black empowerment.
Is it necessary for an English-speaking Muslim, right, to know some Arabic? Is it necessary, or would it hurt your feelings if they greet each other?
It ain't nothing wrong with being educated and learning a different language. It ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I learned
Before y'all tell me if I'm right or wrong with it, can somebody tell me what does that have to do with Black empowerment? I keep asking the question and nobody answering that shit.
Because that don't even make sense. Like we ain't even.
That's what the article say. I didn't say it.
Look, that don't even make sense. Let's get to what you're actually, you know what I mean, getting at. So if a English speaking Muslim, right, knows Arabic words and terms and phrases, right, would you say it was something wrong with that? Would you call that Islamic empowerment? Would you say that's kind of fucked up? Why would you have to learn? You know what? Would you do that?
Oh, I get your point now. Why you calling out? You're saying why you calling out Kwanzaa?
In
but you ain't got no. Why you ain't got no smoke for Christmas? Yeah,
or any other thing. It would be logical if he had the same issue for all holidays.
Hey, Chef, how old was you when you realized what the Christmas tree actually was for? How old was you when you learned what the mistletoe actually was? How old was you?
Shit, I'm about to be however age I am now. What the fuck is what are you about to teach?
Yeah, grown.
Yeah, what is the tree and the mistletoe? What is the actual thing?
That's Scandinavian in Norse mythology. Like the Christmas tree is the evergreen.
Hold on.
Let me finish. The Christmas tree
about some Norse shit.
Yeah, the Christmas tree is the evergreen. They taught me this in school. This is fucking evergreen tree. The reason the Norse and shit celebrate this shit is because
it stay green all year.
Yeah, it stay green all year. So they celebrate that tree as being, you know what I'm saying, holy or sanctified from like Nordic, you know what I'm saying, traditional, you know what I'm saying, cultures.
It's a reminder that spring will come again. So logic. I'm trying to figure out, right? Why you don't have the same sentiment?
I'm trying to explain it. I said one particular point and y'all dove in on it, right? So when Black people put up a Christmas tree, ain't nobody trying to think about what the tree actually means. We got all these symbols around us: the mistletoe, the bells of holly, you know, all the shit. We might be burning logs in the goddamn fireplace, and we don't know what the fuck that shit mean to the Scandinavians. We not internalizing.
Hold on.
Right?
But when
what's the message? We don't have no message when we put a wreath in front of the door. Right. So what's the message that we get when we speak in Swahili? Because we could talk about them same principles and leave the Swahili part of it out of it, can't we?
Yeah, but you can't talk about the evergreen tree and Christmas without leaving out the European words and language. You feel me?
Brad's been doing it for almost 40 years now. He's a clear example that you can put up all them symbols around your house and not. have a
He's
connection to
speaking
the
the
symbol
European
original
language.
meaning at all.
No, okay, but he's speaking the European language. So if we're connecting something back to African traditions, and last time I checked, we came from Africa. Am I right or am I wrong? Or
You're right. We don't come exactly from Swahili culture, but we come from Bantu culture, which is related to them. So
right.
yeah.
Right. So what the problem is, if we don't come from the Norse culture, right? But English people have adopted your Norse traditions into their holiday festival, right? And we're still using European words to name these different symbols and everything. And I don't hear no problem with that. It's only a problem with black people using something African. It's fucked up, the logic some type of way.
What? No, I'm still asking you what it's got to do with black empowerment, bro. I'm still I would say I would say I don't know why you avoiding this question like that, because I'm trying to keep it somewhere
I
simple.
don't even know how to answer that. But it should be evident.
I
because
feel
you're
like,
asking
but I
something.
feel like you saying it should be evident.
I'm
But
working on it.
go ahead.
All right. So I feel as though it's evident, right? It's evident in the fact you're connecting black people who came from Africa back to some African words and some semi-African traditions. If you don't think that there is something good in that, right? Then logic, I don't know what to tell you. Because then what would be good in Christmas?
So look, I mean, because Christmas is actually for the kids, right? When you teaching the kids Swahili, that ain't for the kids. That definitely ain't for the kids.
Christmas ain't just for kids, bro. You must ain't been around Catholic people. My girl is Colombian. She Catholic. And that shit ain't just for no kids, bro. They light candles. They got the thing. They got the celebration where it's called the 9 day the 9 days of candles, where they light the candles up 9 days before Christmas and shit. Like that ain't just for no kids, bro. Your whole perspective of Christmas is fucked up.
Hey, so hold on. But I think, hey, Logic, let me say something real quick. So I think we're getting away from what Logic's saying though. So the principles are cool, great. And but I think at least what I'm getting from it. So it's Umoja, Kuchi. I don't know. Somehow I want to fuck that word up.
Kuchi Jakalia, bro.
Kuchi Jakalia. Hey, Chef, you mad that I don't speak Swahili, my nigga? I apologize.
I don't speak
you gonna learn. If you seen the Lion King, you gonna learn fucking Swahili regardless. Fucking Lion King came out.
I say this every year. I say this every single year. We dropped a Kwanzaa album to the label, and I repost it every single year. So yeah, it's in the chat. Yeah.
Okay.
My song I had to do was Kuchi Jakalia.
Okay. So self-determination, Ujima, collective work and responsibility, Ujama, cooperative economics, Nia, purpose, Kumba, creativity, and Imani, faith.
Yes,
all right. So Logic, here's my question to you. There's nothing wrong with teaching kids principles any day of the year. So that's where I stand with it.
I don't disagree with that.
No, right. But here's my question though: Is your issue that because it's Karinga, so that's like a black nationalist or Pan African? It's one of the two or both. Are you saying that it's promoting the principles, but it's really like a dressed up cosmetic kind of cultural black nationalism or something like that, and you don't agree with black empowerment in this way without it being real, like voting or economics or something like that?
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Okay,
right?
and I got your point.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. And then because you introduce it in that particular way, you put up there's another thing that you're doing that gets you further and further away from actually addressing the shit.
Right, from actually getting the empower, from actually getting the power you're looking for.
Right.
From actually getting the
so
power
when we
you look
fool ourselves into believing that learning Swahili is the empowerment, we start moving in the wrong direction when it comes to what actually empowers us.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Like, that's what I'm keep trying to say. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? I don't know
the
why
Bronx
it
has
was
just
that
got in the
unclear the whole
building to
time.
come in here and cuss you out. So
Yeah,
before
you
you
better get
start,
cussed out,
before you
Logic.
start your shit,
The
Reggie.
Bronx.
Yeah, the Bronx is here. Before you start
Reggie
your
better
shit,
send me
Reggie.
my money before he cuss me out.
Southside Bronx.
Hey,
It's
Reggie,
Christmas time. It's
before you
Christmas
start your
time and
shit, I
Kwanzaa
want to
time and
say
everything.
Merry Christmas or Kwanzaa. I don't want to offend you, but happy
Go ahead and talk,
holiday. I'll
Reggie.
just say happy
You owe me a
holiday.
cheese.
Y'all done ran Reggie off.
No, he'll be back. It's that
You owe me a
Bronx. It's
cheese
that Bronx
before you come
internet
up in here with
connection.
that bullshit.
But yeah. So if you just saying that, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But before y'all all get off, pause. Everybody in this motherfucker, happy holidays. I hope you had a great holiday with your kids
I'm
and your
broke
family or
after
something
this
like that.
fucking holiday.
You ain't broke, baby. you broke like that nigga on
Cause I ain't got no money,
I'm
baby.
broke, baby.
I ain't got no money, baby.
I ain't got no money, baby. I'm broke.
Got no money, baby. Wow.
We got a lot of snow, a lot of money too, but we got a lot of snow over this motherfucker too. Lord Jesus, we got like 9 inches of snow yesterday.
Hey, Brass, it's 83 degrees.
Oh, I want to
Yeah,
hear
I don't
Reggie
hear that
take on
shit.
it. I know Reggie was there when Kwanzaa was created.
Honestly, I think you just cursed at me, and I'm gonna let that shit ride. Think you're gonna tell me it's 83. I'm fucking using salt. I learned DQ yesterday. I learned the difference between salt and the chemical blue shit, and now I went out and bought a whole bunch of chemical blue shit because I've been rotting off the bottom of my goddamn car putting salt on the goddamn.
You putting salt on it, motherfucker. Yep.
But what up, Reggie? I know you ain't shovel yesterday, but shouts to you.
No, I live in a high rise and
you live in a private.
Talk that shit.
Okay, Reggie.
Talk that shit, Reggie.
Yeah.
Do you own the? Yeah. Okay. Hey.
Here we go.
Hey. Let's not go in here celebrating non-ownership unless you own that motherfucker.
No,
just because if your only perk is you ain't have to shovel, then your high-rise comment is rubbing me the wrong way. We talking about black empowerment over here, right?
No, I'm a shareholder in
there it is. Then now you talking my language. I love it.
I'm a shareholder, but the money that I put in for it, I probably won't get back with because of repairs and stuff like that. But it gives me the privilege to live here and then so Logic, hey, happy New Year to everybody, first of all. Happy holidays, and I know we're having a Kwanzaa conversation, and I didn't hear what Logic said yet. That was I seen the title, that's why I eventually jumped in. But Logic, I thought we was cool.
We are cool.
Yeah, why
you still owe me a cheese. I ain't forgot. Just because we cool, that don't nullify your debt. What's up, Ashley? Hey,
Reggie owe you something?
Yeah.
I thought you was bullshit.
Yeah.
You serious?
That nigga's funny as
hell. Man, Reggie owe me $20, man. Go ahead.
What the hell did happen?
Is that all?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I'll send that over.
Into a play.
No. I don't want it from you. I want it from Reggie. But anyway, go ahead. So this is what my point is, Reggie.
Yeah.
So my point is that I feel as though the biggest problem with a lot of these conversations is that we end up with some sort of distorted view on how to empower ourselves. We always got to go some crazy ass roundabout way. We got to reclaim Egypt. We got to speak Swahili. We got to dress in dashikis, light some candles, and sacrifice chickens or whatever the fuck else we got to do. We got to do all that kind of stuff instead of actually figuring out, you know what I'm saying, the good shit, the real shit when it comes to empowerment, right? So in this particular case, speaking Swahili has become the distortion. So if we have to say that speaking Swahili is our modern way of empowering ourselves, it make us sound stupid, helpless, bro. And it make us sound like we going in the wrong direction when it comes to empowering ourselves. Because we could walk around and have Kwanzaa 365 days a year and still not have no political power. And still not necessarily be practicing you know, the group economic stuff that we talking about. We could be wearing all the dashikis and the whole hood could smell like incense and it not mean a damn thing. That's why.
Okay. I got your point, but I want to talk about culture. We are fragile people. Um, we have been stripped of everything. We are Americans, citizens of the United States of America, but we, as this population has been so injured by not only slavery, but in the last 100 years of a position where America has how can I say harmed us in drastic ways, unlike any other population in the United States, and that it's curious that like I live in Manhattan, across 110th Street, Black people don't own anything. And even in Harlem, except for the homes that they live, those people own that. But across 110th Street, we don't own property at all. It's just curious. It's just curious to me that we don't take those things into account. This ongoing war where our people are dying like baskets of apples that are picked, and everybody's grabbing it, and we've contributed so much and have very little. So this Kwanzaa was born in the 70s, as you know, and it's non-religious. So that was a big step. Though it's to me more connected to socialism than anything, but that was a step that we took in the 70s. Um, it reminds us the principles, and I go to Kwanzaa events occasionally, right? I don't necessarily celebrate that Kwanzaa, but I don't have a big problem with people who celebrate because um, the principles are basically into Renaissance, collective work and responsibility, um, uh, and things like that. I can name them all, but the issue is okay. What do we have? Are we just American, or are we something else? That's the first thing I just wanna ask you. Are we just American? Because America doesn't see us as American,
Hey,
right?
I got you. I got you. But you redirecting the conversation. I'm saying now I'm trying to get somebody to draw me the straight line between black empowerment and speaking Swahili. I feel like that's still a simple question, and it's apparently
So
it's
logic,
self
is your
evident and
gripe with
obvious.
the words, the wording that was used, like
No,
is the language
look,
that was
my
written?
specific gripe is that the biggest problem, right, is always we always trying to enculturate, right? We always trying to emphasize African culture and then call it empowerment. And I'm still trying to ask, where's that street line?
Okay. Well,
I'm still
again,
saying, I'm still asking.
at
It
the,
is empowerment. Even learning a different language is empowerment. Like even if it ain't Swahili,
Yeah,
just
more
being
information is never.
Spanish or English, it is empowerment. Because motherfucker, you can speak some shit other motherfucker ain't speaking, know what you're talking about. And plus,
Okay, so more. Okay, so let's talk about more information about what, right? So
okay, so
speaking Swahili, right?
Swahili. Let's take out the Swahili, right? Okay, I get that.
What we
Let's
can't take it out because that's what Kwanzaa is.
wait, hold on. Wait. So I know your throat doesn't kind of gel well with coochie chakalia,
Hey,
right?
pause.
Right.
Yo,
I mean, pronouncing. Let me just be clear. Pronouncing coochie chakalia. Okay, let's just take that out. Let's just talk about Ujima, right? Well, let me just not even use those terms. collective working responsibility, is that something that we should have on our minds?
That's a fantastic thing to be thinking about.
Okay. And
but so look, what I'm wanting you to do is not act like the word, the Swahili word, is not there for a reason. That's what I want you to stop dancing around.
Yeah, because
I'm not saying nothing bad about the principles, but let's talk
So you're
about the
saying
purpose for
it's a
that Swahili
misnomer
word.
with the wording. Like you don't like that it's written.
Yes, it's taking you in a different direction. And maybe that's what we need to be talking about. But don't ignore that the word is in Swahili for a reason.
No, it was written at that time period because that was the radical 70s. And that's something about something that bleeds into our history, understanding the times that we were in. And so, okay, so we have an agreement that that collective working responsibility, right, is what they meant, and they just named it that because that was a part of the times. Fair corporation, that's another one. I'm not going to mention the no longer the Swahili. What about purpose? What about creativity? What about faith? What about the other principles? Well, those things, if we take out the accoutrement, right, the shiny necklace, which or not so shiny in your terms, right? To speak in Swahili, which is far from African American culture, but now it is part of African American culture, right? It is part because it's part of our history. So we can't pick and choose what our for well, uh these are not even our grandfathers, are our parent people, because this is just a close generation as to our parent generation, right? This is something that they decided amongst themselves to do. So the thing about it is, up until this time, everything was religious. This was a break from religion. It was a break. It was how can I say, mapping these terms onto things that we actually need. So unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Those are things. If you just take out the Swahili or take out any other African word that means the same thing, we still struggling around unity, self-determination, collective work, and responsibility. It was just fashionable. It was like, maybe like you said, a dashiki, an African cap, a cane, right? Some of the other things that we do, but African American culture is very diverse, right? Now we use different words like AI and blockchain and things like that.
No,
However,
we still call unity. We still call cooperative cooperative working. We still call it that, right? And when you say that, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't need no Swahili class to learn it. So what I'm saying, so look, when let's not ignore that Kwanzaa fits. No, look, I'm just doubling down because you kind of danced around it, and I want to emphasize it right quick. Let's not ignore that Kwanzaa fits within this adoption of African cultural theme that was happening in the 1970s, right? Let's not ignore that. That the reason why the Swahili is in there is because they were trying to stimulate incorporating as much African culture into African American culture as they could. That's exactly why they did it. So when I'm in 2025 saying that that's the part that I have a problem with,
why is a fucking problem by learning some African shit? That's
why I
stupid
can't
as
have a
fuck.
problem with it? Why I can't have a problem
You
with it?
slow, bro. So you straight up slow.
No, nigga, you
like,
slow.
Even no, you
Your
really
ass
really
is
slow.
slow.
No, you really slow. Anyway, motherfucker, Swahili. Most of the Swahili words link back to Bantu words or some of the West
When you
African
go to
Bantu words.
when you go to work, do you speak Swahili? Who do you speak Swahili to?
I speak Spanish and English when I go to work. I speak 2 languages.
I asked you about Swahili.
That? You speak one.
I asked you about Swahili.
It don't have to be Swahili. Some people might work with some Africans that might speak Swahili, a different language. It don't matter. Everybody don't work your job. People work different jobs. It is some companies that work. It is fucking companies
I ain't asked you about your lunch taco order. I asked you about Swahili.
It is people. It ain't about no taco order, nigga. I work in construction. I build generators, nigga. Anyway, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know you order horchatas at lunchtime too. You speak.
No, I don't. Spanish. No, I don't. I speak Cuban Spanish, nigga. I don't speak Mexican Spanish. That's why you ignorant as fuck. And plus, it might be some people that actually work with motherfuckers from Kenya. They got business partners from Kenya that might learn Swahili, that might want to learn Swahili. Niggas be ignorant as fuck. You ignorant, bro.
No. I asked you who you speak Swahili to. You told me you speak all kind of other shit except Swahili. And you talking about I can't have a problem with it.
Bro. You being ignorant, bro. That ain't my point.
It's because your slow ass ain't listening to what the fuck I'm saying.
No, you're being ignorant.
You could have stayed out the conversation. Me and Reggie was talking. For real,
nah, bro. Nah, I could be if we some fucking open room conversation. You sound slow as hell, bro. No question is slow.
I think you sound slow as hell because I'm asking you a simple question of who you speak Swahili to, and you said you speak Spanish.
I said nobody. I said, but people might work. I said, but people might work with niggas in Kenya. Niggas might. I live in Houston, bro.
You go sit. Do you go sit at they? You go sit at they table and speak Swahili
to me, bro. I said people, bro. It don't gotta be me.
No, I'm asking about you. You talking about me. You talking about the language I speak,
and I get paid. Guess what? I get paid. I get paid a little bit more when I speak 2 different languages at work. How about that?
Hey, Logic. I don't think the idea is for us to be.
I don't believe.
You know, to be to speak it fluently.
Ain't nothing wrong learning another language.
How to speak Swahili fluently.
Niggas want to stay stuck on stupid.
They use the
word.
word.
It said breeze. You don't get the. Hold on, I'm playing Arc Raiders. You don't get the whole frustration with one more thing that's supposed to bring us empowerment, and it ain't actually gonna bring no empowerment, bro. Y'all don't get nothing to what he's saying at all. Nothing.
I do.
Nigga name Logic, the most non-logical nigga in the room.
The more we talked about it, it reminded me, like I have I've been living where I live the last 8 years in my apartment. My neighbor, she's Chinese American, and she celebrates the regular New Year here, goes out like, you know, on Fridays and Saturdays to the bars and clubs like everyone else. But I know she used to invite me over like towards the end of January to her crib to celebrate Chinese New Year. Now, I don't think she's trying to be, you know what I'm saying, like fully doing her Chinese thing, but it's like that's something that they celebrate within their culture because she also is Chinese American. So I don't see what to be the issue if we incorporated something like a Kwanzaa.
No, but hold on. But here's the thing. I think what Logic's saying, you missed it. Not you miss him, but the second part of what he's saying is that it's one more thing that is somehow supposed to lead Black people to empowerment or give them some feelings of Black nationalism or Pan-Africanism. And it's just another thing that ain't doing neither. That it don't, at the end of it, we feel better. At the end of it, we're celebrating some shit. But in actuality, it's just a celebration. Just call it a celebration. You don't got to call it Black empowerment or nationalism or Pan-Africanism. It's just it's a celebration where we get some education. But I don't know. What he's saying is, where's the empowerment? It's just marketed as a celebration. And there's nothing wrong with that.
But I mean, that's what all celebrations
I don't give a fuck about no empowerment. I'm just saying learn another language, period, is empowerment overall for any human being.
I don't think learning a couple words, 7 words in Swahili.
I don't think it's empowering. That's not the purpose to make it trying to say it's Swahili. That's not the purpose of it.
Okay, so I got okay, I'm working with Logic. At least want to work off my $20 debt to Logic.
y'all gonna explain this debt at some point because y'all confusing the hell out of us. But go ahead.
Well, no, it's simply, you know, he's
no. You ain't gotta do it now. Finish your point. I want to hear your point.
Okay, so we have very little in our culture. I'm talking about a culture that talks about anything empowerment. anything. That's not, except for rap, or which is down the drain. Music is down the drain. Sports is down the drain, right? Um, Nobody wants to hear about the Black City Plan. That's down the drain, right? Um, so this is something that already occurred in the 70s. Now, for a new generation, that's their decision as to how much. But I would rather them, of course, deal with empowerment. So I'm not opposed to that. But for example, if Logic goes to the Geechee people, he won't. They have a whole language that's Black American, African American, and there's a whole bunch of terms and saying and phrases, and that's Black American. It doesn't lead us necessarily to a whole group empowerment, but it is something that's treasured. It's something that these groups of people along that shoreline, right, use to empower themselves. It may not be for all. It was their own secret language, right? Uh, Speaking America, English is a is what we do, and we should do it very well. We find that most people don't even know definitions of terms. Um, what I tried to say is that when Kwanzaa was created, it came with something else, which was Kawida theory. Kawida theory was Malana Karenga's uh, program, and then this was just kind of like the holiday. He really wanted the people to understand his program, which again had a Swahili name, but it's Kawida theory, but it's part of the diversity and history of our people. But where else are we talking about unity? What else are we talking about? Faith, right? Collective work and responsibility. Those things, those terms themselves, um, we need to find vehicles because we are so divided. Most of us, listen, we come together on this channel. Well, we don't really come together because we have diverse views. I'm waiting for Stu Peace to come up and curse me out, tell me I'm ignorant or I'm not well
He had a
educated.
great point about Boxing Day.
Stay on topic, Reggie. You was cooking, bro.
Hey, Reggie, yeah, I know, but I think we got away from. Stupees made a good point about Boxing Day. We're gonna get back to, but I think,
Yeah, stay on topic, Reggie. You was
stay
bringing it
on
home right
this
there.
because you're welcoming.
You was cooking because didn't I tell you it's the premium package, yo? You gotta get the leather, the nav, and the sunroof when you buy that mug.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, like, he got a point with that, bro. I'm not against the principles, but he damn sure got a point. I don't know. I don't think we need more shit. I don't think we need more. I don't know. Maybe we do. This is a confusing conversation because hold on. Hey, said this is a confusing conversation because I feel like in the chat he made a good point. He says we fighting over shit and wonder why we get ridiculed. We'll fight over anything that brings any sense of unity. And I feel like that, but I also feel like I don't think we need more made up shit to unify.
Like
we gonna
said, what
unify
does it matter the vehicle that is brought to us? Like these are principles we could benefit from. Like it doesn't matter the vehicle. I agree with Reggie on that. Like that's who cares if it's written in a Swahili term? Like we use terms from other fucking languages all the time.
I'm still trying to
Logic want to celebrate anything Malana Karenga created.
What you say, Jeff?
I think that's part of the beef too.
I'm having a hard time seeing the problem. Like it's more of a thing.
I'm with you there.
It's more of a thing. It's an attack on Black people just figuring some shit out for themselves. Like shit ain't gotta be all like what you saying, bro. Like, sometimes, you're in a situation where you just want to figure shit out yourself. Do shit yourself. Make up your own shit. And how is that hurting anybody? And, like, why do it got to be connected with you getting civil rights? Like, Christmas ain't about getting your civil rights.
No, I'm not the one connecting it to Black empowerment. Malana Karenga is.
Well,
the man who created it. The man who created it.
That, bro, why are you stuck on that?
Because look, if we want to create a version if we want to create a version of talking about all that shit, we could do that, and we could do it way better and leave the African stuff out of it, bro.
Was
And
Jesus
you know
born
what
on
I'm
December
saying when I say
25th?
that.
No, I don't.
We got enough creative minds right in here to create something and leave out the African.
December 25th.
What day was he actually born on, Chef?
I don't know. They said
me either. I'm glad you was honest.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. We don't know. For all we know, they could have made that shit up. Right? For all we know, they could have made that shit. They could have made Jesus Christ up. Right?
I just know that they gentrified Hanukkah coming right afterwards.
So I'm trying to figure out holidays is made up. It's made up shit, right? If you had the same sentiments for all of them, I would say I'm with you. But you're just attacking this, and now you're saying, what's the point you're saying?
I left the principles in there.
Empowerment
right
part.
now we talking about the Swahili.
The empowerment part in the Swahili. So you just nitpicking. Start nitpicking Christmas, nigga. Then I'm with you.
Yeah, that's what it
is.
Yeah, but Easter ain't even the date of crucifixion. Is Christmas is about what y'all Saturnalia, that's the sun, and Christians just said not sun, the sun. And because Jesus is the light of the world.
Holiday. And Christmas is still a beautiful holiday, and I ain't never know nothing about no goddamn Saturnalia. My family get together, right? They eat, they exchange gifts. That's all Christmas. See, it don't have to be everything. For Brass, it might be Jesus' birthday, right? It might be to celebrate his Lord and Savior, right? But to other people, it could be about this. But ain't nobody going around nitpicking saying Christmas, we don't need Christmas because it don't align with the truth and no. Why we gotta do that for Kwanzaa though? But if I was that type of nigga who had a problem with all holidays, then I would say if his beef with Kwanzaa and he had those same beefs with all other holidays, then I would be like, Logic, that's just you. I get, but you're selective because you just got a problem with black people doing some shit, yo, and that's fucked up.
No,
yes, it is.
I hate how you trying to take it that way, right? Now I feel like I really wish we had just let Reggie keep talking, yo. Reggie, you still there? Tell us about that program. Tell us about tell us about that program. You don't listen to good brother Reggie, man? What's wrong with you?
No, I don't listen to Reggie.
Reggie, tell us about that program that Milana Karinga had linked to Kwanzaa. That's where the meat and potatoes is at, because we trying to dumb it down to it only is this and it's only that. Nah, let's actually get to what he really talking about. What is he really trying to tell us to do? What is he really trying to tell us to do?
No, say it got African words in it. That shit useless. Like, that's crazy.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah, you doing it. Yeah, you doing it, bro.
Yeah.
What he's saying is like, let's get some. What he's saying is, you made some stuff that's like Christmas. You calling it empowerment. You using African words to Africanize it. Using this, that, and the other. But hold on. But Chef, what he's saying too is at the end of the whole thing, it ain't led to, or it's gonna lead to an empowerment. Now I understand where you going. You going with it's the celebration, right? No, I'm saying it's just another reason to unify and teach your kids something, and I get that too. I get that part.
Some good shit. I'm trying to figure what's the bad part about it.
Because Logic always gonna fight fake empowerment, bro. He always gonna fight.
No,
that shit.
how is it? How is that? You know what? Y'all right.
You fighting. You act like
how long have I been asking how is it real empowerment?
Like you just
and then so not too long ago they were saying it ain't got nothing to do with empowerment, right?
So hold on. So if the principles, is it anything about instilling those principles into a community a bad thing? Would those principles help any
It ain't
community?
look. How many times have I said it ain't the principles? Why is it got to be in Swahili? How many times have I tried to keep it on that track?
Oh, that's ridiculous. That sounds even more ridiculous.
Well, then let's say it in Spanish. Then
Now
let's figure out how to say unity in Spanish and say it in Spanish. Then why wouldn't we do that?
Spain? Bro, did we come from Spain? From Spain?
But we still using the same words.
No.
They still mean the same thing, right?
Do our particular community
So is
come
that
from
so?
Spain?
Right, so it's the Africans, it's the Africanist part that you really want to keep. You're not even trying to just emphasize the principles. You actually are looking to maintain the Africanness, right? See what I'm saying? See, like, and then when I say
logic, hey, hold on, logic. Hey, Chef, can I fuck up this holiday for real? Because the more I look into it, you know what I'm doing, right? So, I'm about to go fuck this whole thing up. Milana Karenga. So, Reggie, you a slick motherfucker, bro. Milana Karenga was not just some harmless cultural professor. He ran a group called the US Organization. Right? So in 1969, 2 Black Panther leaders were murdered at UCLA after an intense robbery. Yeah. I'm about to fuck up the whole thing. No. I'm about to fuck this up. See, hey, hold on, Chef. I only need 10 seconds, bro.
Yeah.
See, so worse than that, Karenga was convicted of felony assault.
Oh, that shit don't mean nothing, bro.
Hold on.
Logic is having a semantic argument.
Hold on, Fed. He tortured and abused 2 women in his organization. The details were brutal. Hold on. The details were brutal, including beatings and sexual violence, and he went to prison for it. I am not celebrating this shit. Fuck that.
All right, well, okay.
Yes, I was just waiting for you to find that out and read it. That's all.
I ain't even know. Y'all didn't tell me this motherfucker was a.
But Reggie, can you tell us about? Can you tell us about the other part of Kwanzaa? The other thing that Karenga had.
Apparently, Karenga didn't read the goddamn principles of Kwanzaa.
That shit don't matter.
Yes, it does.
Unlike most of.
I'm about to find all of the disgusting shit about Christmas, and let's see.
Go ahead. Listen. You're gonna do that anyway. You're a Muslim. You're gonna do that shit.
Do that.
See if you have the
That's how you get him, right?
I don't care about that. I don't care about. I mean, what I'm talking about. You can go do the whataboutism and all that.
Nah, it's the same thing, Brad.
I'm talking about.
Y'all niggas sound like Negropean.
Tell him.
Hold on. Hey, Sid, let me ask you a question.
It's shameful. This is
the same thing, bro. You're doing the same thing, bro.
Hold on, Sid. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
So the nigga created Kwanzaa. Cool, we celebrating it. Y'all gonna start talking about Jesus and all this other shit. That's fine. I'm talking about Kwanzaa specifically, the holiday. So you have no concern. I just want to be clear. You have no concern, no issue. It don't bother you at all.
He went to jail for it.
And breeze. And then I'm gonna ask you.
Nah, I don't. I mean, because
you counter your thought. No. Oh God! I done sat in this room. Remember, I said earlier when we started the conversation, Chef wasn't here yet. I was like,
"What is about the principles in a holiday or the man?"
Talking, Chef.
Which one?
No, my question is, I said, wasn't he a gangbanger or some shit? Because I remember him from the Bastards of the Party documentary. And everybody kept saying, nah, he's a professor. And this and that. I said, okay, cool.
I ain't know what the nigga was. I'm be real with you.
But if the nigga is a fucking kidnapper of black women,
okay,
we forgetting that shit. God. We ain't even gonna discuss that part.
Let me
you know what Christianity did to black people?
Here we go. What about us? Let's do the what about. I'm talking about Kwanzaa.
It's the same sentiment, though. I gotta agree with you.
Your talking point gotta be
consistent. No. I'm talking about Kwanzaa. We could do a show on Christianity. We can do a show on Christianity whenever y'all want to. We can do a show on Christianity whenever you want to. I'm talking about.
Y'all love preaching the black man. but no critique.
I'm talking about, listen, y'all.
We gonna see that.
Logic, I see exactly.
Y'all ain't right. Y'all ain't right.
You see how when it get a
You
little
and
crazy,
Logic said y'all was
paint it a particular
Afrocentric.
way.
You and Logic said y'all was Afrocentric.
They gotta paint it. They gotta paint it like that.
There's some more
So
shit.
they don't have to address what I'm saying.
Can I add a couple of things?
Y'all
Can I
got
add
it.
a couple of things?
Okay,
You told me the man was a professor.
Christianity did.
Okay,
You know, hey, Reggie. When you
If
tell
you
me
can
about a
still come
person's
being a
life,
Christian
Chef, I'm
after
not
the
talking to
Papal
you, bro.
Bull and all of that
Reggie, I don't worry
nonsense.
about no Papal Bull.
then
Y'all start
how?
talking about Papal Bull, I'm gonna end the
How?
stream.
You don't even
Listen to what I'm
care.
saying.
Like, you
When
don't
y'all
even
motherfuckers
care.
talk about
It is a
hold on,
contradiction.
Reggie,
It is.
Reggie. When
Flash,
you
you
describe
don't
a
care.
person to somebody, Reggie, I know we in the
You
conscious
don't
community
care.
having this
So
conversation,
now I
Reggie. So Reggie, when
now
you
I
describe a person to us, right? Don't
now we
start with
believe that this
he was
guy
a professor at
about
school.
Kwanzaa and
Start
Karinga,
with
right?
him
But he
kidnapping women, sexually violating them, and the brutal beating that he did on top of him being a professor.
Come on, y'all. We was doing good, man.
No, we doing good, but the nigga in the back of the classroom.
No, because I can't let y'all get away.
No, you
God.
don't let nobody do anything.
Crazy.
We all grown. We're not letting anybody do anything. We're grown. We are all talking to each other. You think you just letting somebody talk. That's not how that plays.
That's right.
That's not how that plays. Nobody.
Okay. Can I talk?
I'm controlling that. I'm not letting you do that shit, Brad. I'm controlling that.
I did it already.
I got that.
You can't stop me from doing some shit.
You do it.
I did already.
Letting you do it.
I already did it.
I'm letting you do it. You ain't doing shit. I ain't gonna let you do it.
I already did it.
I ain't gonna let you do it. No, you didn't.
I did.
Let's get back on track. We was doing good, bro.
No, we were doing good. Hold on. Hey, said Breeze, we were doing just fine. We've been talking about this for an hour and 20 minutes. All I ever heard was
Brad, if you interject the creation,
he was a black nationalist. Hold on, said. All I heard for an hour and 20 minutes in this entire
Christianity enslaved millions of black people.
Yeah. So
still don't have a
for an hour and 20 minutes. This nigga was a black nationalist.
Hey, Brad.
He was a Pan-Africanist.
Let me ask you a serious question.
All this shit. I heard he was a professor.
You don't care.
But y'all forgot the part where you wanted to let people know a nigga
care about
black women, brutalized them, and sexualized them. So I'm trying to figure out how we ain't never get to that.
I know it ain't nothing but push.
How we did not get to that
you
part.
Hypocrite.
How are we talking about?
Hold up. Hey, Chef, hold up a second, Chef. Brad, let me ask you a serious question.
All of this shit, and y'all just danced over the part where he went to prison.
Brad, hold up a second, yo. Let me talk to
women.
man. Hold up.
Fuck anything he made.
Your whole
can I say this?
Hold on. His whole intent was to put down Kwanzaa to save his white holiday. That's his whole reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why you doing that, Chef.
I don't even know why.
Hold up, Chef. Hold up, Chef. Reggie, I'm gonna give you one second.
You are incoherent at this point. Once again,
let me tell you something, Brad. Hold up a second.
And this bitch defending humans, contemporary fucking abusers. That's all y'all niggas do, bro.
Like he didn't know.
As soon as I start talking about what a nigga actually did, I start talking about
hold on 1 second, yo. Let me tell you something right there.
Nothing about Kwanzaa.
You talking about a nigga off in Judea? I'm talking about a nigga in California.
He actually like he didn't know nothing about Kwanzaa or nothing.
I didn't know. I just looked it up. I just
now
looked it up. No, I just
y'all
looked it up.
Believe that shit.
I just looked it up.
Actually believe that shit. That's crazy.
I seen your screenshot. I said, does he have any scandal in his background? That's all I asked. I looked it up just now.
Okay, well,
so what do you know about Christianity? So what do you know about Christianity?
I thought we didn't do what about it.
Hold up for 1 second. Hey, Blast, if I told you, hold up. let me tell you something about Christmas that you might not know.
We did nothing. I thought we didn't do whataboutism.
Hold up. This might be important, Brass. If I told you that you can, that you can make a connection.
No, for me, y'all can do what y'all want.
We gotta address that.
If I told you that Christmas could have something to do with the disappearing of children during the wintertime, right? If I told you that you can make that kind of connection to Christmas, would you feel worse about Christmas?
Yes.
Well, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is you throwing it away?
No, love Christmas.
See. I'm glad
So,
you said that.
I just wanted to see if it changed your argument, because it don't change mine.
You've been celebrating
change my argument either.
Before I understood what it was.
It don't change my argument either. So I feel where you're coming
from. Hey, Chef, you want me to lie and say, you know what? I'm not celebrating Christmas next year. I'm not gonna lie.
Can I give my perspective?
Well, I'm glad you didn't lie. It just showed that you inconsistent.
But wait, didn't a lot of babies get touched like in Catholic, under that?
Yeah, they did.
Hey, Freddie, I know you're trying to just throw salt on it, but participate in the conversation. Don't instigate. If you don't mute your mic and don't talk then. Don't talk now. Like,
let me stay quiet. Let me stay quiet and enjoy this weather.
You just instigating some shit where we trying to get somewhere.
How I'm instigating? I'm giving that was a logical thing to say.
You're talking about something else.
Bro, it's called being consistent in your talking point. If you gonna be the more police,
if I say I'm gonna still celebrate Christmas, that's consistent. I told the truth. Wait, bro. Well, I'm not even gonna talk that long, Chef. Then you can have it. What I'm saying is, when y'all saying I'm not being consistent, I do this every single time in every conversation. As I'm learning about the conversation, right? And I told you, I celebrated Kwanzaa in middle school. I didn't know Karinga. I never heard the words Karinga till now. Shut the fuck up now. So I didn't celebrate. I celebrated the shit on programs in middle school. That shit meant nothing. Nothing. I don't know. When niggas just go, ain't no fucking stuff. Don't play me like that. Don't play with me. Yeah, this is just child. Yeah, that's shit. No, 1 second. 1 second, Reggie. So if all I ever knew about Kwanzaa was celebrating some shit in middle school, that's one thing. I got here and learned about Karinga and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, cool. Chef, as God is my witness, probably inappropriate right now, but as God is my witness, I've been asking since the beginning of this conversation, because I saw the story of Kwanzaa on a documentary called Bastards of the Party. The way they framed the shit that a criminal, hold on. The way they framed the shit was that a criminal started Kwanzaa. This is true. But I asked before you got here, Stupid to tell you and Logic to tell you. I said, wasn't that shit started by like a gangbanger or something? And they said no. And then niggas started talking about he was Pan-African, he was black nationalist. So then finally for myself, I said, from the Bastards of the Party, why do they frame it that a gangbanger started it? And then they told me about all this prison shit. That says God is my witness. Right now, I will screenshot it to you. So I didn't know that he did all of that. But I'm consistent because I'm constantly looking for that shit in the conscious community. I'm constantly looking for somewhere it's a nigga that beat up a woman.
I can say I've seen him do that before. Once he see that devious shit, he out. That's consistent. I've definitely seen him do that before. Go ahead, Reggie. I won't hear what you're saying too.
He can excuse the historical bullshit of Christianity.
I can.
You see? Well, then that's why I'm saying that's where I got an off road where I can get out the conversation, because once a person show that they ain't consistent, you feel me? Like that's some
I've been celebrating Kwanzaa since before. We've been celebrating Kwanzaa. Yeah.
You just showed your bias.
Okay, then I am biased. Go ahead, Reggie. I can admit it. Go ahead, Reggie.
Okay, great. Okay, so Kwanzaa, yes, Malala Karenga was convicted brutally kidnapping women.
Was it black women?
Black women. All right.
Did he sexually violate these women?
Bro.
If the court
All right,
evidence,
man. Let me
if the
sit
court
up.
evidence
The
says,
fuck? I won
if
for
the
5
court
today.
evidence says that,
Yeah,
that's
bro.
fine. But let me
Mute up.
let me contextualize this. This is in the time period of the COINTELPRO, really where COINTELPRO was really, really hot. So us and the Black Panther Party was engaged in shootouts.
Gold was blown off.
Hold on, Reggie. Say it. Mute up.
Both organizations were.
Turn that Zen on.
Hold on, brother. This nigga talking about NBA 2K and turning Zens on. Cheating ass nigga. Mute up.
That nigga said balling. He over there.
This nigga
balling.
literally
Ahead,
just
man.
said he about to go on 2K and cheat.
Okay.
Turning that Zen on.
That nigga said my nigga for real. Now he's in him. Go ahead, Sid.
Go ahead,
Go ahead, man.
we muted him. Go ahead, bro.
Right. Wonderful. So the everything that you said about the court case of Dr. Malana Karenga is correct. However, the facts the facts is that this is during the heavily COINTELPRO movement where every black leader was targeted. There was dirt on every black leader. Martin Luther King was a womanizer. Malcolm X was a former pimp. Anything that white America could put on the dirt of a person's past was out there. The problem, the issue, and I am not again because I don't want to be cursed out by that sister who came here who see it's a problem when I talk to women because I can't say the things I want to say because I respect women. But the fact that call me a de-esser, right? And stuff like that. So the problem is that yes, he was convicted of that. Yes, he did his time. The other story is that they were agents, and still he had no right to kidnap them. But you have lots of black leaders or black organizations infiltrated by agents, male and female, of that particular time. So they got him on that charge. He did his time, but he got his PhD, and then he became a long teaching assignment in Black Studies departments in California. So yes, the institutions, yes. Dr. Malana Karenga is a professor. He has 2 PhDs, right? And
he got hired after that?
Yes. So that's the duplicity of it. So that's the duplicity. That's the duplicity of America. Yes, if you look up his bio, he has a substantial academic bio, right? He has several major publications. He's a very, very good writer, right? But we're not really talking about the man. We're talking about people who embrace Kyle Reader theory, and so it became an African American stable. Right,
coming from a guy who said you're not the worst thing that you ever did. He said he believed in redemption. He wanted to redeem Cookie. You dig what I'm saying? Who was a murderer, right? But then when it comes to Karenga, right? When it comes to Karenga, he wanted to throw him away. Not only him away, the holiday away, right? Because he wanted to save his Christianity and his Christmas. That's crazy. That's so inconsistent with everything that you've been, man.
So I didn't know. I thought
that's a lot. You saying y'all got to be consistent in y'all talking points. That's all.
Man, shut the
How
fuck
we the
up.
theory?
Why you getting so emotional, bro? Damn,
because you're not helping. You just instigate, bro. You're
a crybaby, bro.
You're a shit starter, bro. All you do is start shit.
You the main shit starter.
Okay, shut the fuck up. So go ahead, Reggie.
The movement Kyle Reader theory and Kwanzaa is not reported to do any harm to black people, right? It's associated with its leader, but with its leader who I know personally, right? I know. I was looking for a picture. I was looking for a picture with me and Dr. Malana Karenga, but I've spoken to him many times.
Yo, what's up with Sid, yo? Sid, what's up?
he trying to play 2K and he won't mute his fucking mic.
Yeah,
He trying to play a video game and he won't. Yeah. He just bugging out. Go ahead, bro.
Maulana
Your mama's
Karenga,
off, you bitch ass nigga.
when I first met him personally, it was about 84, 85. He when they was building ASCAC, he was the first vice president of ASCAC, ASCAC National. And,
Scam.
So yeah, so so I know
you done fucked about that's worse than him raping 3 black women. That's crazy.
Okay, well, I'm just telling the backdrop. And so over the years, and I've met his wife several times, talked to her, talked to his daughters, right?
Did he beat them?
Go ahead. No, actually got into a big argument with his daughters because they was in charge of we were doing an ASCAC conference with Dr. Ben, and Dr. Maulana Karenga was having a terrible some people made it more what it was, but an argument. And so I got into problems with Dr. Maulana Karenga's beautiful daughters, right? Look, there's the man, there's nobody on this chat. Maybe there may be one or two that didn't grow up in an urban environment, that wasn't exposed to drugs, wasn't exposed to murders, wasn't exposed to other criminal activities. And so once the government can put that on you, then nothing that you say is ever important, right? Because America doesn't believe in redemption for Black people. But here we have a president of the United States guilty of almost everything, right? But people swear an oath to him and his policies, and that's just America.
Reggie.
Yes.
Okay. So I believe in redemption. Chef is correct. I don't believe a person is the worst thing they ever did. Chef is correct.
Okay.
So hold on. Wait. No. I want to speak to something you saying. Let's speak specifically about Kwanzaa and Maulana Karenga. I'm not throwing him away because apparently he did good afterwards. Applaud him. I'm saying that would put a light on that holiday for me.
Okay.
No. But I got a question though, Reggie. I do have a question. So in your statement, speaking about Maulana Karenga.
Yes.
I'm reading hot pokers, grape, all kind of stuff like that, right?
Yes.
These is Black women. Agents, I don't know if they agents, this, that, and the other. That don't, so you completely remove, because even with Donald Trump, even with Jesus Christ, the more you learn about all of this stuff, it shades it and you choose to do whatever you do. But that Maulana Karenga branding Black women and graping them, that don't have any influence on what you think about the holiday Kwanzaa at all? None?
Well, yes and no. I don't really practice the holiday, but I participate with people who do, and a lot of them are my friends, and we critique Kwanzaa and Kawita theory.
Is there anything in the holiday about raping Black women and mutilating them? Is it can we do a deep dive Gemini search and see does any of the sacraments or traditions or principles speak to anything about harming Black women?
But so Chef, the same question to you. Now that you knew that the whole time, or did I just teach you something?
No, I knew Karenga was a wild boy.
Yeah, but I
didn't bring him up.
Wait
about
a second. I'm trying to keep it civil, bro. So okay, you knew he was wild, you knew about the hot pokers and the grape and all of that. And
we went over that before.
Okay. And that didn't shade how you thought about Kwanzaa at all.
No. Well, see, let me finish. See, you lots of times you have to separate what the people want to accept, right? So there's real people, our people, right? Or people that we're connected to, right? People that we know, that accept that holiday, right? That they don't necessarily accept Kawhi theory, which is actually more important than the Nguzo Saba, which is the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, right? But in Nguzo Saba, the program was based around those 7 principles, right? It was just yet another movement that was not necessarily the movement in the interest of America, in the United States, certainly during the COINTELPRO. So those type of movements of anything cultural that's widespread that we do ourselves outside or with our American culture is a problem in the United States. It's a problem with the FBI, right? Because there's always different groups in it, some radical and some really radical that America keeps its eye on. Now America is busy with other groups of people right now, but in the 60s and 70s, we were the target. Right? Nobody can say that. I'm not. So the movement, meaning people chose independent of what they said he did, because there's different stories or how it happened, different stories. You do have to understand that a federal indictment, you can be indicted on a federal charge and a state charge just simply by a true bill and a jury. If there's enough evidence to go forward, and if there's enough evidence to convict, that's fine. Many of us got out of those matters when we were young, with the skinny skin, right? Just because we might have been there, we might have done something. We are guilty. We are guilty of association. Alana Karenga was the head of the organization. Both organizations were heavily infiltrated, so we never know the truth about what actually happened. We know the allegations, we know the conviction, and I'm not excusing him kidnapping Black women, torturing them, or anything. I'm not excusing that. However, these organizations were radical. They were trying to survive from imprisonment and from death, right? And a lot of that had to do with our own government, right? Most people who were leaders of that time did not survive. They just did not survive. And if they survived during that time period, you have to ask, why did they survive, right? You always have to ask a question, because if you was in any of those organizations, you was a target, right? You have an FBI file. I have a huge FBI file because of my associations, right? So I do understand that. Now, the people chose a holiday. So now the accusation moves from Dr. Malana Karenga to the people that chose it, right? And the people that practice it are beautiful, beautiful Black people, simply wanting actually extended celebration from Christmas. And some of them still celebrate Christmas,
Reggie.
right?
There you go, Reggie.
So they wanted to turn it in from one day into multiple days where we can reflect. So don't condemn. You could condemn him for his crimes or the allegations of his crimes, and that's fine. I got that. But now the fact of the matter is, what I started earlier with culture is that we have very little. We have very little in our Black culture, African American culture, Afro American culture, however we want to call it, that's our own, right? Now, during different periods, yes, there was this whole the Black Panther Party, both the Black Panther Party, us, and all, they were like cultural nationalists. So they were saying, well, what's in America, uh, we already practicing it, but we don't have anything of our own. So they created that, right? They created that. The people celebrated, and so then what you want to talk about is what is the
beautiful
foundations of Kawhi theory.
Go ahead,
Right?
Reggie. Don't look. We talking about dogs. Go ahead, brother. I apologize.
Kawhi theory is the one is the proposition, defining feature of a people is its culture. So that's the people or the culture, right? And then what are people doing? That's our culture, right? And what are we doing for ourselves? The second is to be itself and free itself. And people must be self-conscious, self-determining, and rooted in its own culture. So then it's culture. Then we have to be very clear about we have to be self-conscious of our own culture, right? And to show that it's ours, right? Even if parts of American culture is ours, right? But we have to be self defining, right? And we have to be rooted in our culture. And then the quality of life and the success of liberation struggles depends on the level of cultural development. So they are cultural nationalists. They believe that our future existence has to be connected to liberation, right? And connected to that has to be a part of our cultural development, right? So that's the basis of the Kawhi that's the basis of the Kawhi theory, right? But the Kawhi theory, in my analysis, they use this word communitarianism. Communitarianism is the highest form of socialism. So they were socialists. They believed in not just socialism, but the highest form of it, which is communitarianism. So they were radical socialists in a particular culture, and they fused that onto they fused that onto their program. And so then you have the seven principles. So the seven principles, without the baggage of the Swahili that we don't talk that we are allergic to, and that's okay, right? That's okay. I mean, we have other books like Maremma Annie's book on uh, uh, Yurugu, right? Heavily into another language, right? Swahili, right? All of the things that they talk about in those books are terms connected to Swahili terms, right? The miafa, right? For example, right? Um, and so what they did is they categorized our struggle here in America in a cryptic language. But we've had successful groups of people along the coastline of people that was heavily connected to Africa, like the Geechee people that had their own language, their own phrases, their own thoughts, independent and with, right, American culture, right? And then we have the whole Caribbean that speaks, different versions of patois. That's their own coding, their own culture, their own code, right? In which they can say things that maybe the oppressor doesn't know unless you have an agent reporting what they say. All of that was successful. It led to the decolonizing of the Caribbean, decolonizing of Africa, independent of what we think about it. So now we have. I'm listening, and again, I'm working off my debt to Logic. Is 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 that because it's only $20? I thought it was more, but the issue is, okay, so we can go back to the mill that we were arguing and talking about, but we never really critique and dissect white culture. We never really dissect that how Kwanzaa is just exchanging of gifts. Like it's not, you don't have a whole shopping day for it. Whereas these other holidays are really just commercial. Easter, right? All of them except for like Veterans Day, Memorial Day. These are very like big shopping things where the stores who have been not being able to sell its goods throughout the year gets a boost for the next year, right? And so uh, we have to look at the positive themes of a cultural expression, which just says exchange a gift. It could be a tie, it could be a hat, it could be some gloves, it could be something light. It's not.
So
Uh,
so Reggie, so Reggie, what I'm trying to compartmentalize the conversation into, right, is like what you actually admitted it inside of what you said, right?
yeah,
You saying that they were trying to tie in things that they considered a part of their liberation movement, right? So
yeah.
my critique here isn't that we got to try to create our own stuff. My critique is more about what part of liberation is speaking Swahili.
Well, you can like I try to separate.
They absolutely were trying to say that speaking Swahili had something to do with liberation. And
No,
you said it.
they just use well, partly so because they just use the labels, the terms, right? But they spoke in English. They wrote in English. There's not no mandate or no major doctrine totally written in Swahili, right? It was at that time was something fly to say. Like we say fly things today and or I can't even use the word fly, hot, whatever we say today, right?
They were selling the sizzle. I know exactly what they was doing. It
Okay,
was a hot button.
Okay, that's fine. But the all we are trying to do, right? People who believe in freedom and won't rest until it comes, right? Is to find some program, right? That works. So we know now that talking about Africa, right, in to the 2020s, right, is a doomsday conversation. Doomsday conversation and say anything about Africa. So then, okay, so we could talk about African American. Okay, well, are we willing to do that? But what is catchy about it? Do we need a rapper to come on, or R&B singer, or We of the World, for it to get popping in our culture? Right? Because those are the things that make things happen, right? We of the World comes out, right? Everybody is involved in Ethiopian starving children, right? And those things lead to other things, right? Um, uh, uh, but the issue is our cultural artists are the ones who kind of push things mainstream that people sing that goes viral. Viral is a new word. Uh, but people start saying using terms based on that. So I agree that we don't necessarily have to use those terms, but in the absence, what do we do about what in fact do we do about unity and collective worker responsibility? What in fact do we do?
But we can still keep all of that stuff at the forefront of our values. But to me, it's important to leave the Swahili part out because it
Okay,
leaves
I
wiggle
got
room.
that. I got that.
Right. Well, you said, what do we do? And I just said we can still do that
Okay,
and
how do
leave
we
out
do
the
it?
baggage because
How do we do it?
we simply do it without the baggage. I mean,
Okay. So this is the 2020s time period, right? And so what propositions and plans, and that is complicated to be talking about on this show, and it's not as I like sometimes when y'all argue and curse each other out, try to curse me out, that's fine. But in the meantime, we don't have too many people thinking of anything right now, right? FBA, ADOS, Umar Johnson, right? Ta-Nehisi Coach. What's his name? Uh, Henry Louis Gates, Cornell West, right? We don't. Everybody else is silent. Sigma Pi Phi Boule is silent, right? Yeah, our cultural leaders. Our cultural leaders are silent, right? We're going with the wind. We're tumbleweeds. So
Hey, I got a question.
Go ahead. Y'all can hear me?
For Logic. Yeah, we could hear you.
Okay.
For Logic. So what's the issue with the Swahili? And
That's
by
what
the
I
way,
want to tackle.
real quick,
That's nuts.
real quick. Is your issue a personal one, or do you believe that it's problematic socially? You there? Logic on here?
yeah, my fault. My fault. I had muted myself. Which so my problem is that we're trying to force it into empowerment, right? So like if we sit up here and we talk economics and then we talk politics, there's no question about how that's directly related to our empowerment, right? But from when we gotta have some roundabout way of trying to force Swahili into our empowerment, we actually put the economics and the political shit on the back burner, right? The fact that I've been trying to sit up here and almost I don't know how many hours we've been sitting there having this conversation, is really ask y'all, what do speaking Swahili got to do with it, right? Because when I say economics and politics, we don't even have to have a conversation on what that got to do with it. So it's like you're trying to force one thing in there, and it really don't even need to be there, right? So like, that's what the problem is, and the fact that you want it to be in there, it leaves the door open for more misinterpretation. That's when you start getting the overemphasis of let's start sacrificing animals. Well, I mean, just as an example, just off the top of my head. Yeah, because it's more about
Because that's
incorporating African culture.
Okay, once
Because
you
it's more
incorporate the Africa, the
because
wild
it's more about incorporating African culture than it is about directly speaking to the issues that we are looking at when it comes to empowerment. Like, and I feel like that's super clear.
So let
And,
me
and
ask
y'all
you.
are purposely trying to muddy that up to where it sounds like I'm tripping.
I'm still not. So the idea is that if you name the 7 days off, if you use Swahili words for the 7 days, that precludes, people from doing all the other stuff you're talking about, as far as socially and politically, or
Nah, I don't think. Nah, I think what he's saying, Haskell, is his point. His point is valid. I think the Swahili kind of throws it off, but
why does the Swahili? I'm still not clear. Why?
No, I'm saying, but no, because when y'all start talking to me
like this,
I don't know either. But I'm saying the Swahili part, because I can't even follow the Swahili part. I'm saying it just said he's.
So take the Swahili out. We're all good. Logic. Is that where we at with it?
Well, that's the whole. But that's the.
I can't allow that. I can't allow that.
Bro, what is
that? No, I'm asking. I'm asking.
I can't allow that. Let me say this. Let me say this.
Hold on. Can I get an answer? Hold on. Can I get an answer before y'all go?
Hold on. Before you, I'm about to answer you. The original conversation is the fact of Africanizing something for Black empowerment. Why do you have to Africanize it to make it Black and to somehow lead to Black empowerment? That's what he's saying. The Swahili and all of that other shit is the Africanizing.
I don't even understand that.
I could answer that question.
Go ahead, and then let's do B's talking like you're talking all that. Bro, you anti-today.
The basic notion is you're creating something that the time back to Africa is this notion that it goes back to a period where African people or African descended people had full agency and autonomy. So that's where the whole Africa thing, tying it back to Africa, comes from. You know what I'm saying? But I want my question answered though. For logic specifically. Hold on, Hold on. So logic. So if we take the Swahili out, we all good?
Or we all good, bro. I like it. I like the principles and all that.
All right. Can I say something now? I'm not thinking but from I'm listening to you and I listen to Chef Friend, I've changed my opinion on Kwanzaa. And not to take out the Swahili is an injustice. Because what this political climate has taught me is that everybody, whether they want to be Indians from India, Germans from Germany, people from German origin, everybody speaking dog whistle language. And if you listen carefully, when they're speaking dog whistle language, they're basically saying, this is about us. When we're using the Swahili, it's an identifier to other people to say, this is about us. So when they try to come and, with the word gentrify now, it's not going to feel okay. It is easy to gentrify without the Swahili. Because basically what they're saying when they use Swahili is that Kwanzaa is about us as Black people in the West. And there's nothing wrong with that. And when people use it to say we can't celebrate us because it takes away from the economic plan, that is not true. This political climate tell you that is not true, because when they speak in dog whistle language, it is not taking nothing away from them economically. So what we're supposed to do? Abandon every Blackness about us to facilitate economic development?
Anything African, basically saying that's
no, I'm saying that they're trying to couch it in empowerment.
So all right, so
speaking
that's the point.
Swahili.
So that's the point. Now, when Jews, well, when European Jews, right, they reintroduced Hebrew.
Yiddish.
Yeah,
Hebrew.
and they created their own version mixed with European German Eastern European language, right? With Hebrew, the shit that they remembered from Hebrew, right? Now they way away from Israel, right? And they still say, yo, we're going to connect our language and words back to where we originally came from. They empowered themselves with that, right? Now, this guy is telling us that other people can do it, right? But when we do it, we somehow fucking up. Like, yo, we got to stop listening to nonsense, man. Like, it's just
Thank you,
nonsense.
Shepherd. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you.
Yo,
Thank
the way
you.
you said that shit was funny as
No,
fuck.
thank you. Thank you.
Because they speak
some type of
so because they speak
intelligent
Yiddish, that's why they got political power.
This
That
shit
what you
ain't
telling me?
intelligent.
So
This shit ain't intelligent.
you telling me so since they
These ain't
speak
even
Yiddish,
good questions.
that's why they got economic power because they speak
Bro,
Yiddish.
who the fuck? Jesus Christ!
I'm asking you a question.
Yeah,
So
don't ask me no questions. If that's where you went with that, you feel me? If that's where you went with that, right? They don't need to speak Yiddish, right? To have cultural.
You said that they brought
it's a
Yiddish
part of
to
their
empower
cultural
themselves.
continuity. Listen, they're creating culture. Listen, they're creating cultural continuity amongst their group, right? So there'll be different things that you use to create cultural continuity, right? And having specific language things, right? It helps. Everything ain't about economics, right? You got to create glue in order for the economics to work. You think what I'm saying? You acting like everything got to be set to this. No, it's a puzzle, bro.
Yeah,
we're trying to put a puzzle together. You know what I mean? And you act like every piece gotta be a certain size. No, it doesn't. It's a puzzle. If somebody took us, say we was a piece of glass, right? Or ceramic, and somebody just threw it on the ground and it shattered, right? So we're gonna put that shit back together. We're gonna, I don't know. You crazy with this one, Elijah. But it's showing something about you.
Put it together with the glue. So
yo, can you stop doing that, bro?
The glue changes.
Yo, hold on, Elijah. We having a conversation, whether we like the conversation or not. The fucking is showing something about you, and
because it's becoming a consistent thing.
He's talking though. He just we trying to work out a point, and you doing personal shit.
No, that's not personal. I'm just
my takeaway
out of all of the conversations, he's consistent in something. We're going
at consistent in, Chef.
So building on what Chef,
that ain't personal.
Building on
what is he consistent in? I want to. What are you saying?
Going that black shit.
That's personal, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, if he's talking, if he keep having the same conversations and he keep having the same contentions, then yeah, it would be perfect because I'm
okay. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, you pick it and choosing because most of the time you don't fuck with that African shit. So you pick and choose. You pick and choose when you like it and when you don't.
What African shit that I'm?
Bro, you don't even want to. Don't ask that question in a serious statement, bro. You just say
hold on.
Bro, you said Africans can't even open up Sprite, Chef. Stop.
Man, we're talking about African Americans. Kwanzaa is African American shit. When have I been against African American shit?
When is Swahili African American?
Holiday, man. You know what, yo?
No,
yeah, like you just said,
and then he fake like when we crazy though. Then he fake like we crazy.
Y'all crazy as hell.
Swahili is African American?
No, Kwanzaa. God.
What are the names? The principles of Kwanzaa are in what language?
It's in Swahili.
No, it ain't African American.
Wait,
No, the
stop.
holiday in the it's
Okay, yes,
Okay,
you're
wait,
right
stop,
about that.
stop,
You're
stop.
right about that.
Can I share
You're
my
right
screen?
about that. You're right about that. No, we're not on StreamYard. We're not on StreamYard. No.
No, I'm on Discord. I can't share it on Discord.
He's sharing it right now. You just gotta hit watch. People gotta hit watch stream. He got it shared right
people
now.
gotta watch it though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they gotta click it.
If I watch it, let me see if I watch it on what's the name? Can they see it?
No, you got we paused this.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. You're right. You told us
Okay,
something.
so what they did is they looked at cultural things and they repackaged it. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Primary symbols, the crops, right? The food crops. We should get into farming. The mat. Here's where they know that a lot of people was practicing Islam, and the mat is important to our African American culture because a lot of people practice Islam. So they created a mat. The Kanar holder, right? So the 7 principles, this Kanar holder could be anything in African American that holds candles, right? And it's a symbolic of our roots, our parent people, continental Africans, right? And our ancestors here. The corn, our survival in America. They mix Thanksgiving in it, right? The unity cup, the cup. They how can I say they mixed a Christianity symbol of the cup, right? The 7 candles. The 7 candles. There's 7. They're red, black, and green, right? Right. So then the gifts, books, right? Books was primarily the major part of the gift giving in Kwanzaa. So then outside of that, there's supplementary symbols. The flag, they instead of calling it the RBG, they call it the Bendera, right? Okay. You can have a critique on that, but the flag, and then the Nguzo Saba. So connected to these are Swahili things, right? But associated with the names that's in Swahili and the English name, the English concepts, right, were also other African West African concepts for the most part. Imani was how can I say Imani and Nia more Nile Valley, but this is what our research was leading to us as to great root thinking. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So what it was is a fusion of what we're already doing in America and what we're already practicing in America, infusing it for some type of cultural expression. And it was good for the 60s, it was good for the 70s. People still practice it today. But the thing is, so how do we do it? But that's an intellectual conversation that I'm not going to engage into it. But I just wanted to chime in about if you could see it's an amalgamation of things that we already do, but centering it for our culture. I could
Right.
take.
So I got another question for Logic then. So because I'm trying to get to the heart of this thing, right?
Was what
So
I said relevant? I mean that. What did I say? I mean, I've studied this stuff. What I'm saying is, I have my own critiques of it.
Yeah, Reggie, but what kind of acknowledgement do you want for? I mean, we heard you and we
Cut me off.
respect it.
I was talking. You cut me off. I don't need
Okay.
acknowledgement, but you did cut me off. So go ahead.
No, but
That's how we do
okay.
it. Go ahead. Because I'm
So I
talking to
wanted
the
to.
whole audience. But you got something to say,
I,
so say it. I'm trying to get
yes,
agreement with
I
the
wanted
audience.
to. You want me to go or you want to keep going? It's up to you.
No, I'm let me just say this. I wanted to inform, this is an educational platform. I want to inform the audience. You have something to say. It's not acknowledgement, but there are other people who are thinking. You've already thought. I got that. I'll stop.
Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to ask, so going forward, right? I'm trying to get to the heart of this thing because my takeaway from what I'm getting from Logic is if there's any attempts going forward where, African American people try to create some sort of cultural dynamic or system that is meant to kind of foster solidarity or empowerment or whatever other things you want to name, incorporating anything African is gonna be problematic to the seriousness and the sensibility of legitimately achieving those principles that they're looking to engender, whether it's empowerment or the rest of it. Is that generally that sound about right, Logic?
I kind of like how you said that, Haskell. I ain't gonna lie. So
Basically,
I'm gonna agree with you.
basically you wanted this eschew Africa. That's what this all boils down to. Leave all
But
that African shit
yeah, we
out of it.
can streamline this without the confusion. When you put that Africanness in there, you bring a lot of unnecessary baggage, and people as you can see,
Why do you consider it baggage though? That's the
Or
part I'm trying to.
confusion. Confusion to who? You're
It
the
Hold
is,
on,
only
let him.
person
it is
confused.
Chef, let him talk, bro. I'm trying to understand where he coming from. So
right.
what is
Assuming
the
that we all confused by this.
No,
hold on,
I'm not
Chef.
Just
saying we
assuring
all
him,
are.
I'm
Chef, hold
assuring
on.
him
Listen,
that we as a
Chef,
community is not
he
confused.
talking, bro.
He's confused.
He giving us insight because I think for the hour and a half or 2 hours, I don't know if it
All
was
right, go ahead.
clear where he coming from. So okay,
Yes,
boom.
I was clear. I'm not confused about nothing.
I'm talking about him.
Not
I'm talking
about
about
what
Logic.
he's saying or
So
about
it's just
Kwanzaa.
all right. So you feel as if incorporating any sort of African motif, language, anything is potentially confusing. And why? How so? So let's say, for example, right, a couple weeks ago, Brass was talking about the African concept of what we call in the Caribbean partner, right? In Africa, I forgot the name that they have for it in West Africa, right? Where each person pays a hand, weekly or whatever, and then each person
Oh
takes
yeah,
a
you talking
draw out of it.
like Tonda. Tonda. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about. Yeah, I remember
right,
that.
right. So a lot of the descendants of West Africans, right, the ones like in South America and the Caribbean, that's where we got it from, right? That's a West African principle. That's where we got it from. So are you saying that for something to be serious and to actually achieve anything, Africa needs to be eschewed totally?
I don't know if
You
he
there?
there, bro. He might have tapped out, brother. Pause.
What, how do you feel about that?
No, I'm here. I was changing my device right quick. So listen to what I'm saying. Don't try to convolute what I'm saying. Just hear what I'm saying, right? You
Okay.
open the door for potential confusion. And this little thing in this online community is a prime example of how when you introduce that African stuff, how you see people take it in the wrong direction. You see black people commercializing the Africanness, right?
Cool, but
We
are you going to
but
answer the
that's what I'm
question though?
saying. Look, if
So it needs
all
to be
I
left
say,
out then.
hold up, hear what I'm
Mhm.
saying. Don't try to change what I'm saying.
I'm
I'm
not. I'm
saying
asking you a
that if
question. I'm
all
asking you a
I
question. Does
say,
it need to
if
be left
all
out then?
listen. If all I say is we need to get better at group economics, it's very clear I have not left you a window into some kind of way confusing that into we need to incorporate more African culture into our liberation movement. You see how
You
clear
gonna
that
answer the
was?
question? Are you gonna answer the question though?
I just did. How
I have
didn't I
no
do it?
problem. No, you never answered my direct question. My direct question is, does the African shit need to be left out? Otherwise, there's confusion. We need to get rid of it totally.
How did I not just answer that? So yes,
No, I
it
wanted to come out of your
it
mouth though.
leaves
We need
room.
to
It
get rid of
leaves
this
room for
African.
misinterpretation,
We
and
need to get
that's the
rid of the
same way I've been
African
saying.
shit. We need to get rid of the African shit totally. Just say it. I
I
want you to
mean,
say it. I want the clip.
well, whatever. I don't know how I've said
Brother,
anything different from
say
the
it with
time
your
I started
no. I'm
talking.
saying I want
Why,
verbatim.
why I
Say it with
gotta
your
why I
chest,
gotta say
bro.
it the way you saying it, and I can't say it the way I'm saying it?
Say
What's
it
up
how
with
you
that?
paraphrase it. Get rid of this African shit. Say
Why
it.
I can't just say it how I'm saying it instead of saying it how you want me to say it?
All
In
right, say
some
it how you
instances,
like then.
in some instances, you can't leave. That's the whole point of being African American. Just be American. Don't be African American. Don't be Black American. Just be American, nigga.
I mean, but see, like that's where you're again trying to convolute what I'm saying instead of just hearing what I'm saying. You got to make me answer it in these specific terms so you can talk, so you can have ready-made talking points for how you want me to answer the question. I answered it based on how I actually feel.
It's called standing 10 toes on something. That's all it is. And
I
when
mean,
you say things,
how am I not standing 10 toes if I'm
you're
clarifying
not,
and I'm
because
still using the same thing?
because you're shuffling about
I'm
saying
not
get rid
shuffling
of this
anything.
African
I'm
shit.
clear. I'm very clear exactly on what I'm saying is that you leaving too much room for misinterpretation. I mean, what in the world is not clear about that? Why do I gotta answer it the way you want me to answer it?
I mean, some of us, for us anthropology, like some of us carried our culture over anyway. It's the whole point of being African American. Some shit is just ingrained. You know what I'm saying?
See, it's like for me, it's like a slim difference between somebody saying, I wanna incorporate
That's
African
what
culture
makes
into
the
what I'm doing.
notion of what he's
Right.
saying
And
silly.
then the other person says cultural empowerment is the key to our liberation. Like, see, that's two totally different things.
Nah, but what Chef showed you is that all of
I am trying to leave. I'm trying to leave the
of a
affinity
mosaic.
for Africa in a choice for people, right? Not necessarily connecting it to we can only have liberation if we incorporate African culture. That's what I'm trying to say. Not what you trying to make me say. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so not necessarily get rid of all the African shit, but just don't make it mandatory, basically.
Don't make it to where you trying to don't make it to where somebody could possibly say we don't have true liberation until we incorporate African culture. That's where I'm at. Not where you trying to put me at. That's what I'm saying.
So
you disagree with that?
But anytime you incorporate Africa, you're saying just the incorporation of any kind of African anything could potentially lead to confusion. That's your position, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Right. So there isn't a way for anybody to, somebody incorporating it isn't saying that, yo, it's mandatory that this African shit got to be in there. That's that person making a choice. See, that's why I feel like this is just a red herring. Like the whole discussion is really a red herring.
It's not. It's not. I've repeated what I meant over and over and over again, and you just continue to attempt to distort it to make me trying to say something I'm not saying. You practicing African culture is great, but I'm saying when you try to mandate that as a part, like if you're not doing African culture, you can't be doing liberation.
That's a red
That's when you've
herring.
taken it
Who did
a
that
step
though?
too far.
Who did that?
Nigga, that's
Who
what they
made that?
was doing.
Who made that proclamation to say that, yo, you gotta have some African shit, some continental shit, otherwise we can't be liberated? Who did that?
Did Milano Karenga not incorporate the Swahili into his liberation movement, or did he not? Did that happen, or did it not happen?
They were all doing it in the 60s and 70s.
That's what I'm saying.
That was the people's
But
movement.
but that's different from saying that he's mandating to other folks how they got to do their thing. He came up with the Swahili thing, right? And he's coming from his ethos, the whole being connected to the continent and all that. That's where they coming from with it. But what you're saying is just by virtue of them doing that, it's kind of implied, huh?
You in rare form today, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You slick today, dog.
I'm only slick because you won't be clear and concise.
No,
You're
I
doing a lot
have
of
been clear. That's why I'm repeating myself, and you continue to try to distort what I'm saying.
In our earlier generations, our parent people, the generation closest to us, that's above us, that's something that they did. That's in their foresight. They were closer to Africa than we are, right? So that's what they did. So the problem is that they felt that connecting they believed that our ancestors should be redeemed. Our ancestors do come from Africa, right? They do. these are former children of Garveyites and other groups of people who was more connected to Africa than we are. Should we forget that? So you have to give me a good rationale as to, if we just forget that, then what do we concentrate on, and how do we concentrate on it? But some of us respect what our parents and great grandparents and great great grandparents, the movements that were alive, not necessarily what they did, but the movements that were alive. Some of these people want to treasure those memories. Every other culture does. Why is it a problem when we connect our culture? Because it also connects a claim to what America has done to us. So we can't go all in on America, because America is not. They went all on us for ill-gotten gains, right? For engorgement, ill engorgement, right? Of ill-gotten gains. So if we forget that, then we have a less of a claim to anything, because it starts with enslavement, and before enslavement was Africa. These people want to look to a place, a time where African people were sovereign, not perfect, but had our own agency. You want to disconnect us from that, but I can say, okay, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. But then what do you put in its place to ensure that our ancestors who suffered so that we could live, right? So that we could have some semblance of something that they never had, we are their dreams. And so, since we are their dreams, that their children and their forebears will survive, even if they did not, even if they threw themselves off the ships, put themselves in front of rifles to protect their children, right? Those people that was captured, and then those people who were disenfranchised the worst in America under slavery, right? Some of those people want redemption for our history. So we should not talk about African history. We should, but African history is part of African American history. So we should just forget all of that, and then what do we have now to empower us? What we have to empower us is that we are disenfranchised because of what they did. So we remove that, then we will never have a successful movement. We're just simply red, white, and blue Americans.
Man,
right?
I could have sworn I just said, if you're going to practice African culture, cool, but don't try to make it mandatory for liberation. I could have sworn I just said that about 3
But that was
times.
their idea. That's not necessarily our idea. We can make a
Right, so you
claim.
telling me you don't even agree with it, but you fighting me when I say it.
No,
That's
because
crazy.
you're trying to eradicate it. I'm trying to fuse it. So I'm just saying, in the
How am
last,
I trying to eradicate it when my statement was, if you want to venerate African culture, cool, but don't make it
It's
mandatory
not
for
cool
liberation?
though.
Where is the
You say
eradication in that
you say you
statement?
want it gone. You say you don't want it as a part
Man,
of
y'all
anything.
see, man, man, look, y'all ain't even honest at this point, bro. I've been repeating myself for the
So that's
last
not
you said
true.
hour,
we don't
and for
need
the
it.
last hour, y'all been trying to
You said
distort
we
what I'm
don't need it.
saying.
We don't need it. So there's some success. If this channel is about logic, but I guess
But you
logic.
making it mandatory for liberation, and then you say
No,
you don't
no, no,
agree
no,
with it,
no,
but
no.
you got to
Those
when I
people,
said that's crazy.
those people in those movements, they
You
fused it.
said
They
you
made it
don't agree
mandatory.
with that, but when I say it, when I say it, you got to argue with me. This is why I'm saying that you're not being honest, and
No,
that's why you're
because
trying to distort what I'm saying, because that's where we're actually agreeing. We saying the same thing right there, and then
well,
you take it a step further and swear
I'm
to
not
God.
attacking you. I'm talking to you. I'm not attacking you. I'm actually talking to you. I'm trying to figure out now, right? Since we are talking about you, is what should we do? Because this is what I think about these things. I try to write about these things. I go on shows, and I'm not perfect, but I think I'm a good thought leader. So I'm
No, that's
trying.
fair, Reggie. Look, that's a simple answer to me too. And now I'm again repeating myself. I think that we brilliant enough to come up with something that works a little bit better. We can look at the parts of
Tell
what they
us.
did and make it more effective, more efficient.
I
Right?
agree.
That's why I'm suggesting that we can trim some of the unnecessary parts
Okay,
of it.
I don't disagree, but my whole
Okay,
thing is
so if
that
you don't disagree, why is you
no,
arguing with
because I'm
that?
asking you now, as somebody who is a researcher, I have a pretty large.
I'm not a researcher.
I have a pretty large audience and pretty large and going on different channels. I'm respected, right? I try to think about these things. I understood that when I wrote the Black City Plan. The Black City Plan is minimum Africa, minimal, really minimal Africa, but I put it in there. It's more about what are the models in which we can do now, right? So I don't totally disagree with you, but people do celebrate this holiday and celebrate the principles, and it's fused. Um, if we don't think about these things, then we're not doing any liberation work. We're just being African Americans.
So you
And
think so? So you think so? Okay, so you just I'm getting confused because you just said if we don't think about these things, like I'm assuming you're talking about Kwanzaa, then
no,
we're
the
not doing
principles.
okay the principles. Then
Yeah.
we're not doing any liberation
Right,
work.
the
So my
principles.
question, hold on, my question. This is to everybody on the panel. It's a bunch of people in the chat. It's 40 something people in the chat, and it's like 13 people in here. 2, 4, 6, 8, something like that. Who in this room? What is today for Kwanzaa, or what are y'all doing today?
I'm on this show.
No, I'm talking about besides what y'all say. Is there somebody that I know DQ said he used to? Where do you think if it is this good thing or if it's something that's benefiting us or supposed to benefit us? And I agree. I'm assuming that was the goal, so I ain't knocking that. But then why do you think we don't even? I don't think any of us in here celebrate Kwanzaa. So why is that?
Oh, well, the biggest day of Kwanzaa is usually the last day, right? That's usually the last day. And so the first couple of days is just uh getting out the concepts and stuff and being aware and trying to do things that's related to our culture. So today I decided for this time to join you and to have this conversation, right? And I'm not being argumentative. There are other topics I could be argumentative on it, but I'm trying to provide some education on some of the things that are controversial, and tell you about the Nguzo Saba, tell you about when it started, talk about the controversy with Malana Karenga, the person, right? And to expand and then ultimately say, okay, fine, this is a good show. I don't have a problem with the show. My whole thing is that some people are connected to our. I'm older. I'm 60, right? I'm more, and because of my connection with all of these scholars, I'm more connected to their thoughts. I analyzed it for myself, and I said, well, we need to organize in the cities in which we are, right, around our neighbors. So we need to
Am I
do those.
wrong about Karinga though?
Huh?
You and Chef got me thinking about something. Chef, you there? Hopefully you
It's
can
not
answer.
about Karenga.
No. Listen. But he created it, correct?
Right, but it's not
Okay,
about
I know it's
Karenga.
not about Karinga. It's about the principles. It's about. I heard the whole thing, Reggie. What I'm saying though is, am I wrong to not am I wrong to associate the man with the holiday?
Partially, but you have to look at
Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. So I'm trying to learn something.
Okay.
Maybe I'll learn something.
As your homie, I think you might be overemphasizing that just a little bit. As nasty as it is, if you get down to the details of like the origins of Christmas, it's way nastier than that.
Yeah, I know, but I ain't doing
nastier.
what about. But see, listen, I know a lot of times I got told in here that I can't do whataboutism whenever we talk about any goddamn thing. I can't talk about Sprite. If I bring up Coca-Cola, I get yelled out the room. I don't want to talk about Kwanzaa and then start talking about Jesus Christ. So I just want to talk about Kwanzaa. I'm saying, am I wrong? I'm trying to learn. I'm not being facetious. I'm trying to humble out and learn something. Because this kind of reminds me of the Tookie conversation. Chef brought up Tookie earlier, where I was trying to redeem that man, and I was told I was absolutely out my fucking mind for trying to redeem a murderer or something. But now we're talking about Kwanzaa. I'm trying to see if I'm fucking this. I'm trying to see if I'm fucking it up.
No,
can I help out a little bit?
It would be helpful if you look at what the people feel about the principles and the need to kind of do something culturally to get us started with these principles and minimize or you can keep it active. It doesn't matter.
But I'm just saying, am I wrong to not be able to have us to separate? Listen, hold on, no, just listen. I just because a lot of times y'all think I be playing, but sometimes I got upset earlier because I was actually being serious trying to get somewhere, and motherfuckers kept playing. So right now I'm being serious. I'm trying to every day, no matter what we celebrate, Umoja, Kuji, Uchi, whatever the hell, whatever that is, I don't want to fuck it up. Kuji Kangalia. All right, Sakalia. All right, bless you. What I'm saying is, when I'm actually trying to get somewhere, I don't like ignorant stuff. So I'm having a serious conversation right now. What I'm saying is, am I wrong when I start talking about Kwanzaa to have should I separate Mujasi?
I don't think that's wrong. I think that's
watch it. If you're selling a house,
I think that's a personal
start
choice.
talking about houses, though. I know you about to bring it home.
I'm just giving you a metaphor.
Okay, go ahead.
You know the house is in good neighborhood. With some work, it could be done on it, but it got a termite problem.
Yeah.
Right. Are you going to maximize? Are you going to tell a customer, yo, there's a big, huge termite that's going to cost you?
I just tell them it's something we add in either we add in the closing costs that we add in the restoration or something like that. But I'm honest. But here's the thing. But I'm honest about it. This is what I don't do, Reggie. Though I don't start talking about because that's a major.
What about cars? Because you sold cars too.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Too.
No, what I'm saying is, listen what I'm saying. If I was offering someone a home, termite is that's a huge issue.
Yeah.
So when we're discussing it and I'm talking about it, that's something that even if I don't show it first, I do make sure I show it. My issue with the Karinga conversation, my issue with the Karinga conversation is I started off asking, was he a gangbanger? And everybody was telling me no.
Oh, I wasn't
here. And then, right, that's why I tried to explain. This was before you and Chef was here. So a lot of my anger with it was I remember something criminal from the documentary that I saw. And it took 1 hour and 40 minutes from me hearing he's this great person, an educator, a professor, Pan-Africanist, to get to finally I had to go find it myself, like most of the shit in the conscious community, that I got to go find myself to find out that he put hot pokers on black women and raped them. And yet now he's somehow redeemed, but that's where my anger came from, that we have these conversations like it's devoid of the person's actions.
Okay, but are we talking about Kwanzaa or are we talking about Maulana Karenga?
Well, if we talking about Kwanzaa, we got to talk about the person that created it.
No, because after Maulana Karenga is in his close to 80s now, so the holiday will still be practiced after his holiday.
And whenever you discuss it, when you teach it, you know what's crazy, Reggie?
Yeah.
When I was taught Kwanzaa in school, you know they never brought up him.
Right, because the people
they never brought him up. They never brought that man up. Right. I never heard that man's name before I got here.
And some of them didn't even know about those things. They was practicing the holiday.
Yeah, but I think that's like y'all keep telling me now that somehow Christmas is some kind of kidnapping kids holiday. I would have loved to have known that.
Oh yeah, there was a big story today. A young white girl went out for a walk on Christmas Day, never returned. And there's lots of stories about things in Midwest and stuff like that.
Did they kidnap the lady in the name of Christmas, or did they just kidnap the lady?
No, during this time, because young people are out, trying to celebrate and think about things. And
yeah, that's not what he's
You said
talking
it
about,
happened.
Reggie.
You said wait. You said it happened today.
yeah, there's a story today
Well, then
about
she
it.
got kidnapped in the name of Kwanzaa because Christmas is over.
No, I didn't say today. Why do you do this?
I thought you just said today or yesterday.
Last seen on Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Taking a Christmas walk. I said
Was
that.
it a black woman?
No, I said it was white.
Where was New York?
No. It's
Okay. I know
yeah.
it sucks. I said I hope she gets
But these
found.
things happen, and it could happen on any day, but it's known.
So you're saying I'm wrong, is what I'm saying for
I didn't say that
associating
you're
Korea.
wrong.
I need to know, but that's what I'm asking though.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that you're putting an emphasis on the creator, right? Rather than what black people are celebrating.
Okay.
So
Any
what I'm
Mujasi want to get in there? Get in there after Reggie. Mujasi, go ahead, Reggie.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So generally, my whole thing on this is a mental exercise. For the time that I'm going to be doing this, right? Because I'm not successful at Black City Plan. I would like it to be more successful. But there are a lot of identity crises and problems. And I don't have a good sponsor, but I haven't really searched for one. But the fact of the matter is, okay, what do we do? That's the harder question. What do we do? Okay, taking all of the stuff that we talked about, right? The principles or things that we still collective work and responsibility. That's something that we really got to do in economics, politics, and culture. It would benefit us all instead of being these nuclear families that we are, right? We don't talk to our neighbors. We hardly talk to our neighbors.
Y'all don't
right?
talk to your neighbors.
Right. Huh? So generally. So the problem we have in a lot of our communities, we have mixed populations now, not black, but native Mexicans and South Americans and stuff like that, right? They're eating our food, right? Faith. We have to have faith in the future, not for ourselves. It's never for ourselves, it's for our children. Who's a parent who doesn't think about their children's lives more than they think about themselves? No, we got Negroes that will buy cars that depreciate and stuff like that, and houses and be in a strip club and all the time, right? I'm not saying that people won't find themselves in a gentleman's bar or a strip club or a whole house or whatever the case, but we spend an enormous amount of money on those things, not even in our children's future. We don't have a plan for our children. What those are the things that we have to fix, and we have to fix our politics in the places where we live, right? And I'm in New York. Latinos are eating our food and serving other communities, right? Serving international communities rather than serving their own community. I live in close to the South Bronx, not too close, but not too far. We could go out there and we could find people bent over, black, Latino, whatever, right? But our politicians act like they don't see it, right? The enormous amount of drugs and HIV that's in the Bronx, right? And I'm just saying that because we all live in these communities. Many of us can go 10 blocks down and we're in the worst part of the goddamn city. But where we are right now, we're comfortable, but 10 blocks down, but our children go 10 blocks down. We have to solve, so that was their solution. That may not be the solution today. So right now it's just rendered to a holiday. Nobody's talking about car weeder theory, right? No one's talking about the initial purpose that this was interwoven into, right? And so my big question is, Brass, Logic, right? What do we go forward? We're waiting for, we was waiting for somebody like Umar Johnson with a school for 20 years that never came, right? Now we got the Saint or Marquis, right? Now he's a new charismatic figure, right? he beat up on Captain Tazariak, and now I don't know why Captain Tazariak didn't defend himself, because he's out there in the cold, feeding people. I don't like what he's feeding them, as far as information. But when I see people clothes, when I see people who are on their way back to prison, joining something as a start, I really can't blame Marquis. Just gonna put some money in your hand and have a nice day, right? And so we take this opportunity to discuss something. We're having a okay conversation. I don't think that this is worth calling anybody a name per se.
But no, it's a good conversation. Fetty gone. We're having a great conversation now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, but let me let Mujasi go.
Like it's titled as Negropean.
Oh, that's Stu P. That's Stu P's. We never let Stu P's talk. That was his original argument. He was here first, and we just never got back around to what he was.
Oh, you mean Pigtails?
Oh God,
that's his name.
But you just said that we trying to keep it peaceful in the name of Kwanzaa, and you just called that man Pigtails.
Not in the name of Kwanzaa, but no, I just said what his name was. Is Stu P's.
His name ain't no fucking Pigtails. It's Stu P.
That was his name. Stu P's and Pigtails. You weren't around a long time ago. That was his name.
His name was actually Pigtails at one point?
Yes, it was Stu P.
No, it was the whole thing, Brass. You got to say the whole thing like a pimp named Slipback.
Yeah. Stu P's.
So it used to be Stu P's and Pigtails, but he shortened it to Stu P's.
Yeah, Brass. Hey,
the more I know, the less I like it. What did Drake say about DeMar DeRozan's name? The more I hear it, the less I like it. That's all I'm saying, bro. Every time y'all start talking about 5-10 years ago, hate the conscious community.
Hey, just so you know,
I told you that 2 years ago, bro.
I forgot my brother.
Real quick, though, we gotta let Mujasi go, but But just so you know, Brass, the pigtails isn't like what you're thinking about Shirley Temple and shit. Pigtail is the literal pig, like the tail of the pig.
What you talking about, nigga? I'm about to put some pigtails and some navy beans tomorrow. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
I know what pigtails is, nigga.
Stu P's soup going.
Yeah, beans stew. That's a Jamaican version of
ham hocks.
Yeah, that's the Jamaican version of Black Eyed Peas and ham hocks and shit.
I'm talking about nigga burger. Okay, I get what you mean. That's their version of what we do. Okay, yeah.
Collard greens.
Yeah, yes. Which
Yeah.
were
I
amazing.
mean, it's all nigga versions, just different variations of nigga shit.
Cool.
We ain't the only niggas.
Yeah, facts. Go ahead, Mujasi. I hate to introduce your statement in that before the nigga version, but go ahead, bro.
That's funny. I hope y'all can hear me okay, man. I'm just getting over this flu right now, so I'm a little bit under the weather. But I've been enjoying this conversation and just really appreciate learning and hearing from y'all. As usual, appreciate Brother Reggie's context that he put down on the table. To answer your question directly, Brass, I do. Welcome, bro. I do practice Kwanzaa. And as a matter of fact, my energy back, I sound worse than what much worse than what I. But my wife, she's organized this thing. It's a bazaar. Basically, it's like a resale thing that she's doing for the community. She had one last night. She's having one this morning. I'm going to get up and go help her with that. And so I do practice and venerate Kwanzaa. My family supported in the community. Why do this? Same thing with you, Brass. I came into Kwanzaa as a young kid because in Minnesota, we've been practicing it. We adopted it as soon as it got hot off the press. I think some of our early practices in Kwanzaa in the Twin Cities was like 75 or 76 or something like that. I can't remember the exact year. It's done by a cultural community center here in Minneapolis. So as soon as it started to spread in small circles across the United States, Minnesota picked it up, really started participating it each and every year. So by the time I came of age, I wasn't up here at that time. Came of age, some of my early mentors was already taking me to Kwanzaa celebrations. Didn't know nothing about Malanga at that. Didn't hear anything about none of that stuff until years later. So Kwanzaa was always just a part of just something that African Americans do, the cultural practice, something that we just did, to remind ourselves, recenter ourselves on our values. Learned about the US organization. I learned about the particular people that created it as a cultural nationalist movement. And we'll talk about the whole Pan African Association later because that's a complicated distortion. But it's always been something that I did. Years later, when I started learning about Malana Kringa and did some intensive study, and this is after I read his book, Hosea, An Introduction to Black Studies, learned about the application that he had with his organization and some of the things he was accused of, him going to prison. And and of course, in the context of that time, and it complicated me for sure because I'm like, okay, how do I need to disassociate? I asked the same question. Do I need to disassociate him or just stop practicing Kwanzaa altogether? So, it was stuff that I read in my mentors. And this is why I always bring it back to that principle that we talked about this summer. Times you have to hold people up, look at what did he excellently do? What was his excellent people? And he did establish. Now, I dug a little bit more into it years later. I found out, okay, sounds like he got credit for something that he didn't entirely. And that's why I put, if y'all look in the internal chat, put the picture of Dr. Sister Makinya Sebeku, who's really, from what most accounts from up here, she's actually the chief architecture of Kwanzaa in Nguzo Saba. And she's the one that kind of started practicing this and put it on the table at UCLA in 1966. And this is right around the time she was a part of the US organization, but she had a lot of adoration and respect from Rubia Feeney, all Carl Jackson's African name, brothers who was in us. She was honored and respected because of her cultural practices and creation of these things during the cultural national revolutionary period. And so they, for the most part, incorporated Kwanzaa into the US organization because of this sister. And they expanded upon it and flexed it out with more Quieter theory and quieter practices and bringing it to coming forth with some of these pieces. So there's controversy on who actually came up with Kwanzaa. So when I started to do the history, I started saying this stuff is a little bit more complicated than what I. And then two, I can't sit up here and judge my elders off of that standard. I have to look at what did they do well for the people. And Kwanzaa, in terms of a cultural practice and institution, it's done some justice. I'm not going to say that it's like logic is asking a question that has brought us towards this empowerment piece, but it had level reorientating people to this space of it, thinking about this, thinking about economics, thinking about our on a values based piece. And so that's a different conversation for a different day. But the impact that that's had across Black nation, across America, and even beyond America, because you got people in England practicing Kwanzaa, you got people on the continent now practicing Kwanzaa, you got people in Asia practicing Kwanzaa. Small, but it's there. And when you think about the excellence of this cultural practice, that's how you measure the effectiveness and how we want to association. But for me, I can't separate Milana Karinga from Kwanzaa. But I know, despite the stuff that I've read and learned about his complications with the US organization, whether or not he gave the command to torture those sisters or not, I don't know if I'm gonna ever know the absolute truth. I do know during his time in prison, during his time of the spreading like wildfire in prison, and during his time look at the contributions and the excellence that he's put down for people, say that's what I have to do. It's perfection. Yeah, sorry for I'm best that I can. There.
Appreciate it, brother.
Sir.
Yeah, I wanted to say something real quick, Brass.
Go ahead, brother.
When we talk about things like national anthems or flags or religion or holidays or these various things that human beings create to galvanize people and to kind of get a large group of people all kind of moving in the same direction. None of it is necessary.
Right.
None of it. You know, that's why I use the term red herring, not to insult Brother Logic, but just to kind of bring some real clarity to the situation. Because let's take the Jews for instance, right? One of the things that galvanizes their group more than any, well, it's the number one thing, is the religion, right? Now, the things that Jews are known for doing, like
Debatable has
being, huh?
So that's
I
debatable.
was
That's
waiting on
very
somebody
debatable.
to give you just a little bit of pushback on that statement, but go ahead.
What part of it? The religion not being
The
necessary for
Jews and the
them?
religion part. I don't think
Yeah, it's
everybody
not the
agrees. Everybody don't agree
yeah,
on that. But no, well,
it's
go
not
ahead. We ain't got to
religion. Go
change it,
ahead.
but you don't got to change your
Well,
statement.
it's the main thing that makes a Jew a Jew. The idea that they're all descended from who is it, Jacob or whatever, right? But the point being is, you know, when groups of people try to create different social vehicles to or cultural vehicles to do whatever, none of it is not it isn't necessary. So for instance, the Jews without Judaism, if you take that away, would they be any less adept at you know, what they're known for, like financially and all the rest of that sort of stuff? No, not necessarily, but like Chef said earlier, it's a part of the mosaic that makes people a people, and there's really no way to measure how something like a national anthem galvanizes people, how something like a flag galvanizes people. There really is no real way to measure that. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm gonna say on that. The whole idea that
Jews have a
some
slogan, never
huh?
again. Jews have a slogan, never again. And that
Right.
is what they organize against. We don't have a slogan that unifies us. So they did something that we didn't do, even whether or not their tradition. They most Jews consider their biblical as just a tradition. Uh, Black Americans, Black Americans and others, we actually try to worship what they just simply call as a tradition, right? Their thing is to protect their people. Thank you for letting me interrupt you.
Aren't we
Oh,
American?
not a problem.
But we're yeah. I'm gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna just say this, and in the chat, they're having a different conversation, a little bit high school, and one of the conversations they're having is they're talking about how a lot of they're basically they don't even celebrate Kwanzaa, but one of them one of the guys, Hutch, is in here talking, and he is saying that the idea of reconnecting to Africa when your entire life's connection is in America is problematic. And he said it leads to the useless deification of African traditions, similar to what has happened with Egypt. Now, I don't know once you go Egypt, I don't know. I got to stop. But a lot of times, I think this goes back to the original point of, and I hope Stu Pease is there. When Stu Pease was talking about it, I don't know if he changed his position, but a lot of the when we keep saying why do we do this in America and why do we do this and why do we do that, I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, but a lot of the conversation is, well, we celebrate this and we celebrate that and we celebrate yeah, because we're American too.
Yeah.
And I would suffice to say, outside of a classification, we're damn near more American than, well, not, I don't even think that's a strong statement. We're more American than African.
Well, here's the thing is, one of the things, because we have short memories, our founding organizations, founding fathers, founding Richard Allen and the rest of them, they tied organizations to Africa: African Benevolent Society, the African Lodge, Prince Hall, right? They
Yeah.
all of what they did was connecting it. We that and then out of that came the term African American in 1782, right? Where African Americans was deciding whether to fight for the British, right, or to give America a chance, even though the majority of us was in bondage. So 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 we don't know too much about that history. We don't choose to know too much about the history, but you had most of our major organizations in charge of burying, taking care of widows, feeding children, um, dealing with the community. They were all African benevolent societies under another name, but they were all. So why do we choose to forget that? Why do we not honor the thoughts of our ancestors that created uh, the how can I say, even the church, even the black church, right? The AME
African
church.
American, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was our first corporation. That was, but it was called. We call it the AME now, but it was the African Methodist Episcopal. That was Seneca Village. That was a refuge for us getting kicked out of the Lower Manhattan from the draft riots, right? Um, and those institutions took care of us. They called it African, right? But it was an African American experience. I short-lived our lack of knowledge of
Reggie, real quick on AME. Apologize for cutting you, but I want to get some clarity. AME is African Methodist Church, but
what?
This is Episcopal.
Oh man.
But what?
Yeah, I know. But it's Black Christian, and it was founded in Philadelphia by enslaved Black Americans. So it's
Did it cause
American.
confusion? Did it cause
I know
confusion
it's
in
called
Africa?
African Methodist, but it's Black American.
Right, but it was founded at a time where people had a closer relationship to
Africa. They weren't as far removed as we are in this time. So naturally they feel some sort of kinship, particularly to the idea that this was a time where they were completely sovereign. That's the main takeaway. Now, if somebody wants to look at that and feel like that's kind of empty, because they're now in 20.
I wouldn't say empty. I'm not gonna say empty. My point is that Logic is very consistent in this point because once again, why are
think
we
it's caused
going back to
confusion?
Africa?
But
Yeah,
look,
essentially.
have you researched the African burial grounds?
Real quick,
Reggie, I'm not a researcher, brother.
Real quick, Reggie. So I think what the idea though is, Brass, particularly if we talk about the AME, we talk about the 1700s, right?
Mhm.
At that point in time, these people aren't trying to reach back to Africa. They're very much still connected because you still have people who are coming over,
right.
who are still right. So,
that's a good
and
point.
I think that's where the disconnect is in this conversation is that I think for a lot of us who aren't necessarily connected to Africa like that in any sort of cultural way, I think for those looking from that lens, it just seems like something completely foreign. But for a lot of the people who do feel more connected, it isn't foreign. It's just that's their natural way of life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not
When
something they
Logic
reach
says to
into.
you, Haskell, when Logic says, why are we, if we're looking for some form of success here in America, and Logic, stop me if I'm fucking up your point. If we're looking for some form of empowerment or some form of standing here, there is really no reason to go back to Africa to do it or use anything African to do it.
But that's
Why would we not? Why? Logic, stop me if I'm incorrect.
So I don't think it's
that's a good starting
need.
point.
I think, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's natural, depending on who the people. So if you talk about the Gullah people, for example, the Gullah Geechee, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not trying to reach back to Africa. Like they retained like a good amount of that culture. So like Yeah, it's literally just who they are. And for them, because they're so connected to the culture in an organic sense, eschewing that culture would be like cutting off a toe
Like
or something.
suicide. It'll
Like,
be damn
yeah,
near suicide.
it doesn't make any sense. But for someone like Logic, who's more urbanized, I'm guessing that it just seems like a foreign Africa. This seems like a completely foreign thing to him.
I'm not saying that it's foreign. I'm saying that it's a potential hiccup, right? Like it's like you can actually make that. I think that you can make that point even stronger, right? By focusing on just the American part of the issues and not convoluting it with how much Africanness we can actually put inside of that,
But
right? Because
that's
when
your opinion. That's
and I mean and you're giving me yours.
well, yeah, two things. Okay. Yes, I'm giving you a well-informed opinion of that courses
It's
logic.
different logic. It's well informed.
Yeah, it's
See,
well
hey,
informed
hey, Reggie, I'm just saying that. I'm saying, oh, wait,
basically
Logic. I
it
ain't say
carries
that.
more
To
weight
cut
than
him off
that.
because I know I cut you off, Reggie. I'm just saying that because when you said what you just said, I'm just telling you what Logic heard.
Hey,
Yeah, but
nigga,
That's
I
just so
actually
I know you meant it in a way, but
nigga, that was
no,
a
but
quick
I'm
one
just
to the
saying I
ribs
didn't.
right there, nigga.
yeah, that
Quick,
was a jab.
Yeah. You could have. I'm glad you pushed that out. But the fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is, I have studied Black American history, right? There's a award in Black American history, right? I've actually, no matter what Jabari says about my credentials, whatever, because I have problems with what they're doing, right?
I wonder if he celebrate Christmas. Do he celebrate Christmas?
He's
Come
probably
on,
right
you
there.
know he don't celebrate no Christmas,
That
man.
nigga opened the gift yesterday. I know he did, bro.
He was a Christian for many years, but he's probably at the obelisk or the Tekanu in Central Park doing some ceremony and shit, right?
I did that on purpose so y'all would cut on him for a second, but okay.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to do what he's trying to do. I'm trying to be well informed with history. So I mentioned the 1782 when we the sermon of again with the capture of Cornwall, right? I mentioned our foundational organizations, right? When we had some autonomy, and Haskell is right about these people weren't far removed. The problem is that we are far removed, and I got that, but in order for it to latch on to lots of different sensitivities, okay, let's handle all the sensitivities, but then say, what do we do? Because if you're not doing anything, you're worthless, right? You're worthless to this whole conversation. If you are doing something, then let's try to fuse and try to find out what is the next great movement without a charlatan leader or charismatic leader who's planning on building something and taking your money, right? And with those people, the funny thing about it is that these people attract large audiences, right? Um, and they based on a charismatic leader, that's something that we do not need. What we need is organizations, and we have organizations, but we need more now control of our city politics, because city
Yeah,
politics put this into stone. They
Right.
build. Yeah. Okay.
No,
You know, you basically saying,
I'm
wait,
trying
hold
to
on,
interrupt
Logic.
you for a
You're
very
saying
important
what
thing.
you're saying what Logic is saying.
No, I'm
Exactly,
not.
right? Because speaking Swahili don't help you do that.
Oh, my fault. No, you ain't saying what
No, I'm
Logic.
not saying that. But what it
Damn,
is
Logic.
that
I thought y'all was gonna reach a point. Go ahead.
I'm not arguing on the point of Swahili. There's when I showed you the chart, I said there's West African symbols, there is Swahili language, and there's African American speaking English. I showed specifically that to make the point. There's not one way, in fact, to do it. But if you do want to build, if you do want cities where the majority of our people live in, you want in those cities some recognition that you was there. In Wall Street, there's only one sign for the whole slavery, and in Seneca Village, myself working with Dr. Jeffries, we were able to convince the Central Park Conservancy or give them strength to put up something that they wanted to do. Some of them on creating a walking signage of Seneca Village. I did that, right? I did that. I can show you proof I did that. So the question is that when you do that, when you go on a walk of Seneca Village, you will see the word African. You see African Methodist. We are far removed from that. So my problem is going on these shows is that you can have an opinion, but I'm 60 years old. I do have 40 years, and some people might say wasted time of trying to understand and what I can do in a short time I have left on this planet, maybe 15 years, right? At best, right? To contribute, and to contribute. And
how did you end up with Sonetta?
Oh, because I was on the other side of the street.
No, I'm just saying because you're doing a lot of real shit. Like honestly, I didn't know you did all of this stuff like out in the real world. I'm trying to figure out how you ended up on YouTube with these craziness.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna call Sonetta any name.
I did. You ain't got to call him that. I did.
But the fact of the matter is that sometimes you have to go with what is hot. So the group of people that I was, they weren't on the other side of the street. It was just history, people that talk about history, sell books, read books, and then some of the other organizations. But Sonetta had a vehicle. Wow, he had a huge vehicle at the time when he began to start for the first like 6 years. And so it's dwindled down because of competition. But if you can get on a Sonetta show, you can be known nationally. You can get your views out. So look, you guys came around, and people said, well, why do a lot of people ask me? A few people that when I mean a lot of people, because I have a short group of friends, but they ask me, well, why do you go on that channel? I go on that channel because they have good topics, and I think I can help with adding other information
and clarity. And we appreciate you. And most of the people that ask you those questions don't think Dr. York touched kids either. But that's another conversation. But I get Reggie. We appreciate why you come. Why you listen? Because I just want to be clear. It's since we bring clarity, we appreciate what you bring because it's clarity. I didn't send that to Sonetta as a shot. It's just with all of that power and all of these influence and this, that, and the other. If you do have all of that power and you do have all that influence, and all you do is YouTube shows, a lot of times you educate me almost every time on stuff that you've done out in the public. And that thing you just said just then is that's more important than a 1 million viewed conscious community show.
No, but I won't. But the problem is that's not what they want to hear. What they want to hear is important the controversy, right? Teaching history and stuff is boring. They like the controversy, right? What Marcus Garvey did, or they want to hear that. So I do know that. Your show is controversial, so I come on sometimes. It's the personal attacks that you see me crash out on, right?
Your personal attacks come from it's funny, all your personal attacks don't come from nothing that happened inside of here. All that shit is some previous shit that happened on all these holier than thou scientific channels. The shit
can I say something, bro?
Stupid.
Bro, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, because he's talking about
Reggie did good today. Reggie did good today. But my name Stupid and Pigtail was to offend the Rastas who don't like pork. Because Stupid and Pigtail is a meal that they don't eat. That's why I called myself that. Because I got the Rastas hard. No, the other thing I'm saying, that is why I came up with the concept of Negropean. Negropean is an African who wants to totally disregard any Africanness about him. The black man in America is still partially African. That's where he descended from. You can't. There's no red, white, and blue you can cover yourself with to take away where you descended from. But to have no reverence or respect for your origins, to only quote yourself in the red, white, and blue with the stars and saying that we don't need where we come from, because anybody who have no knowledge of them past is bound to repeat their failures. I don't know who said that, but it is said, right? So when I hear somebody saying that why we need to use some Africanness, when everybody else, although they cover themselves in red, white, and blue, still celebrate the origins, especially those from Europe. But we must be ashamed of our Africanness and use it as an anchor or an advil around our necks that is preventing us from moving forward. Who else ever said that? Are there anybody else that said their culture is an anvil or an anchor, is a heavyweight for them to carry? But yet still, it is easy for us to say that because guess what? We're full-blown Negropeans. We think our culture is less than the European culture. So we embrace the European culture and try to disregard ours. So as soon as this is mentioned anywhere, we say, oh, the boogeyman. He's talking about the boogeyman that named Africa that lives under your bed, that will creep out and jump on you.
That's true. That's
right.
Well, Stu Pease, what I'm saying ain't what you're talking about, right? So
no, that's what you're saying. That's what you sound like.
Listen, let me finish what I'm saying. So Reggie actually made a good point about something he accomplished in New York City, right? So we've been sitting here debating back and forth about how necessary.
But you see, you're disregarding what Reggie accomplished.
Let him finish.
What did Reggie accomplish? What did Reggie accomplish? Reggie accomplished the acknowledgement of African in New York City. That's what Reggie accomplished. If it was you, you would have disregarded it because the mere fact that it said African would be an issue to you.
It cause confusion, it's going to cause confusion.
But it's going to cause confusion. But you say you agree with what Reggie accomplished and not acknowledging that what Reggie accomplished.
I like how you twisted that up. Now, can I finish my statement?
All right, what did Reggie accomplish? Go ahead.
Well, look, so since he got the acknowledgement to do that, right? I'm saying he didn't need to know Swahili to do that, right? He didn't need to the information of learning African an African language to actually accomplish something good here in America. That's my simple point. I mean, you could try to distort it and make it sound.
No, you see, you don't understand what he accomplished by merely representing Africa. He was representing Swahili. He was representing Igbo.
He didn't need to speak Swahili.
No, but by doing that, he was respecting all of the continents of Africa with all of the
don't respect it. I'm saying in order for him to do it, he did not need to speak Swahili. That's what I'm saying, and you're not speaking to what I'm saying. Right, that you're trying to find somewhere in there for you to just disagree with it. I'm giving the man his props, and you actually won't let me.
I gave him his props. I gave Reggie his props. I have no problem giving Reggie his props, and I understand why Reggie did it. Reggie might not speak Swahili, but guess what? He's saying by putting it in concrete, he's saying that I respect all of the cultures that I may have came from. I may not have everything from them, but the little that I know, I am going to show that I respect you and I remember you.
So
you don't want to be remembered.
Me saying that we can possibly make this thing more effective by not without overemphasizing how much Black culture, African culture that we need to influence to infuse inside of it. That's disrespecting African culture.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. By disregarding the Africanness, you're going to take years to understand.
You use a particular word of me disregarding. I'm saying again, I'm saying that we could possibly make it more effective and efficient by not emphasizing how much African culture we can put inside of it. You're saying that that's disrespectful to African
Of course.
culture. I don't believe that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because what you're saying, what you don't hear, the way I'm internalizing that is that you're more concerned with how much African culture you can put inside of it rather than making it as effective as possible. That's what I'm hearing when you say that. No. This is what I'm saying.
Your priority is actually to put more Africanness in it, and it's not around how effective it is.
I'm saying that. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're cooking chicken. right? I have the white man way to cook chicken. I have the black man way to cook chicken, right? But you saying that let's cook chicken the way the Americans cook the chicken. Let's not carry Africanness into this chicken. But guess what? I can't eat bland chicken. And the chicken that I eat every Sunday is the African way of cooking chicken. And if I'm going to teach you how to cook chicken, I'm going to explain it the African way, because that's a little piece of my culture that I was allowed to carry forward. So I'm going to celebrate.
White man's chicken is delicious. Moving forward, so is Koreans. Just let you know.
Yeah, white man chicken is delicious.
It is delicious. I don't know where I don't want to start. I don't want to do no KFC and Popeye slander in this one. Because all y'all niggas was running out for the
chicken. That's white man chicken.
That's white man chicken.
And every single one of y'all
I really
in
feel
here
like I
eat that
made an
shit.
excellent point right there that you just ran right past and just kept on talking, but it's cool.
But even part of that is black is nigga chicken too, because white people didn't use the spices and stuff. We added the spices and shit like that to the fried chicken.
And then when I say it leaves some room for misinterpretation, and then I say, and I follow that up with a statement like I just said. Well, now you're going to prioritize. So now
you gotta let him get it out. It'll fuck up the conversation, stupid.
So now you're going to prioritize how much African culture you can infuse in it, rather than prioritizing how effective you can make it. See, that's where my problem actually
is. I was effective.
Just did it,
but I was effective.
That is what I'm saying.
My plane is landing.
I can show you Seneca Village.
No, Reggie, let me finish, please, Reggie. Let me finish, and you can take, because I know that you're just as mad as I am. But you're calm and nice and beautiful today. I appreciate your beauty today. I'm calm and nice and beautiful today. Is that
you raising them up like Lazarus? I hear it, bro.
This dude come and say, because we Africanize it, it's going to make it less effective. That Africanism will lead.
I didn't say that.
That's what you implied. You're not hearing yourself speak.
Listen to what I'm saying. Don't try to distort what I'm saying. I'm saying that you are prioritizing how much Africanness you can infuse in it, rather than prioritizing how effective you can make it. Same thing over and over and over again.
All right, and this is what. All right, let me answer that question beautifully, because I am doing it. A black man is doing it, and I want to put my identity on it, just like how everybody put their identity on their things. It's normal, natural human behavior to put your identity on your accomplishment. When they carve the Statue of Liberty, she have a European nose. She have a European dress. When I'm going to carve my Statue of Liberty, I'm going to carve it to look like me. That's what I'm saying. And it can't look like me if I don't infuse myself into it. Accomplishment without infusing yourself into it. My children will not gravitate towards it, because they're not seeing themselves. Them seeing other people. The important thing, when Barack Obama became president, one of the most important things he did was just becoming president. Because other children saw themselves in him. So accomplishment without seeing yourself in the accomplishment mean absolutely nothing. That's what I'm saying to you. So if I'm going to disregard my Africanness for my accomplishment, I'm not doing shit. Because the children who coming after you cannot see themselves in you. They're going to marry a white woman and you're going to have Diana as a fake.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see themselves as that.
And y'all should know my son is Senegal Mabry. He's his youngest member of the Obama's foundation. So y'all should know that. Y'all just think I'm just anybody, but I was a good father. And so my son is the youngest member of the Obama's foundation, or the ones that deal with boys, right? So, and that's my son. And so what he could do, my son spent a month in Kenya, right? He doesn't carry all my political things, right? But unlike a lot of other people, are successful delivering some points to my children. The problem is a lot of our children are tumbleweeds. They don't even know they don't know their family history. They don't even know their own family history. They don't know their great grandmothers, great grandparents. They don't know any of that. They're the ones, and that's what happens when you want to pick and choose what you want to remove. So they think that they are solely America, but they found out that America is difficult for them right now. America right now in the job market is AI, and they can't figure out why they can't get jobs, because the European in America, they write the AI models. So it's designed to pick you out if you have any affinities to an anchor, right? And Africa is a word that Africans didn't create; Europeans created. So then it makes it even funnier because we're using it as an anchor, but we didn't even really create that term, right? That was a name that was put on us, one of the names that was put on us because it grouped us all from where we were kidnapped from. So it becomes so now, okay, so Africa is a European word. It's not a black word. So now the way we go from there. So it gets so complicated when you don't understand history. Good job, Stu Pease. Because then it gets so contradictory. And the Statue of Liberty. Well, the Statue of Liberty was given by the French to the United States after slavery. The Statue of Liberty has chains on its feet, right? It was created by Lefebvre du Bois, and if you do the history of it, the original designs of it was a black woman. America did not want that, right? So there's a lot to learn in history. So we should disconnect ourselves from history too, or only the history that Europeans, when they don't want any of this taught in the school system, right? They don't want anything about Africa being taught. But then we come around and we want to disassociate ourselves from things because of a few words. Look at the African burial grounds. Very few of you.
Y'all just gonna keep adding to what I'm saying.
What?
Okay.
You did not say Haskell's on here, Stu Pease is on here, everybody else is on here. You did not say that taking out Africa, having Africa is kind of a burden, or we can accomplish things without using the word Africa. Did you say that or not?
I said you can potentially leave a door open for misinterpretation, right? And Stu Pease actually gave a great example, and he kind of tripped himself up a little bit, right? He said that he would be willing, right, to emphasize the Africanness of what he's saying over the effectiveness of what he's saying, right? And that to me is a prime example of how it can potentially go in the wrong direction. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but I am effective.
Okay.
Given the little support that I have, my greatest support was Professor Leonard Jeffries. All right, he was the only one who really promoted me. Dr. Clark was much older, right? But Dr. Clark trained me, and so did Dr. Ben. But Dr. Leonard Jeffries, and so now he's elderly, right? Without Dr. Leonard Jeffries, he put more emphasis on some other people, right? Than myself, because I never asked them. I only served the work that they was doing. But in my limited capacity, I am effective. I can show you a video where I went to the South Street Seaport, where I went through the whole museum and went on the ships, and then went back to the museum and said, "There's not one word, there's no signage on the many Africans that you ported in this harbor. None, zero. What are you going to do about it? Oh, let me give you my card, this, that, the third. Okay, I'll take your card. I'll write you back. Keep writing. They never write me back, right? But I'm effective because most and on Wall Street, right? But the problem is people. My problem is our people disassociating themselves from these things, and that's what I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned about everything that you said, but picking and choosing what they did in the 70s, for 60s and 70s, for what they did, And all we're doing right now is celebrating as a holiday, and somehow saying that the holiday that people choose to celebrate is not valid because there's Swahili in it. But there, I showed you the symbols, I showed you the principles, I talked about the controversy, and so some of the other people did. So at this particular point, I always have to ask you, and I'm willing to work with you, Logic. I just need to know, okay, I hear you, but what's your plan? Do you have a solution? Because I'm here to learn. I actually come to these channels to learn because I get a chance to talk to so many different people at one time, right? I need to know what is somewhat of a blueprint to accomplish, let's not say liberation. I'm not pushing that on the show. I'm just trying to say to save our children's lives, right? To give them a better chance in this new environment where AI is picking and choosing. So the European ain't got to do it no more. His AI does it. Our kids are going to college and coming out driving cabs, working in these fast food restaurants with full goddamn degrees. There's nothing for them. What is your solution? Right? To be picking and choosing on a holiday, at least on a holiday, they might get a Kwanzaa gift. And yeah, I got a Kwanzaa gift. What's that to another friend? Oh, it's a holiday. Oh, you got a gift after Christmas? Yeah, I still get gifts. Yeah. Oh, wow, you pop it. Right? I ain't getting nothing except for Christmas. You still getting gifts, right? Yeah. So and for the young, the babies, the ones through K to 8, those groups of people. What is the solution that's going to help us to get something off the ground? Disassociating ourselves from Africa, picking and choosing, is not going to help us, because when we go to city councils and black in majority black cities, you can hear something that they can work on. They can work. Africa is still fresh. You can still work on it. African American is still fresh, right? Harm based, it's still fresh. So I got your point. I'm gonna mute my mic. I'll spend a few more minutes listening. What is the damn solution? What holiday? What do we use as a vehicle to at least talk about ourselves?
I guess, just maybe, I guess it speaks Swahili, man. I don't know. I don't think the title of the show is "I Got the Solution Finally." I just simply said that maybe we can limit some confusion and maybe streamline this and make it a little bit more effective. That was what I was talking about. I didn't say I was smarter than all the rest of y'all and I got it figured out and y'all don't. I said that this is no, you're not, right? But look, I'm being serious when I'm saying I think that when you say that you've given up. You've given up to the point where, like, we're not talking about what I was talking about, right? You're now trying to tell me that because I got a critique, I also got the solution, and I ain't said that.
No, that's a responsible thing. That's what we do. That's what European think tanks and stuff. This is a think tank, so we get a chance to hear, right, and to think, and everybody's here to learn, right? So I'm saying, but the responsible thing to do is to ponder a good thought about it, because this whole thing is not about Swahili, because I showed you the symbols, I showed you the colors, I showed you the symbols. It's more to it than just the daggone terms that most of us can't pronounce. Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic, but I just want my tone today is not to fight anybody. I haven't called anybody a name per se, but my whole thing is, if we are not knowledgeable, our generations will be not knowledgeable, and they won't have a way in which to fight. They won't be able to see disparity and discrimination. They won't be able to see those things simply because the AI detected that they're black. I got a degree in computer science. when computer science was really hot. First, not the first Black American, but among the groups of Black Americans that got that degree. I couldn't work in corporate America, right? Because during the interviews they would ask me, "Do you have white friends? Do you play golf? You play tennis? You play hockey? Huh? I know some white people. Since you want to ask me a trick back question, so I had a wasted degree for many years. Well, unlike other people who claim to have something like somebody, this dude Jabari started talking about my credentials as if I don't have any credentials to talk about Black studies. But I worked in my field. I worked in my field, right? I'm so mad about that. I can't tell you how some comedic person want to get out there and starts arguing my credentials, but don't argue his teacher's credentials or the rest of the people around him, their credentials, but he want to argue my goddamn credentials, and I got a degree in engineering. And says, but I still don't know nothing about Black studies, but everybody knows my relationships, and he can't show real relationships with the greats. He can show them talking to him. He can show them talking to him or being a little student, but he can't show any real work acting. Oh, he want to go to his Cornell University and talk about how he worked with the Black Studies Department there, right? Fine. I taught James Turner, Dr. James Turner, the head of Cornell University, how to use the computer at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture at the New York Public Library. I taught an institutional leader how to use and 100 more visiting scholars how to use a computer, right? The IBM PC, how to do word processing, write documents, right? But I got some comedic dude talking about my credentials and then playing a victim when I talk about them. Don't ever talk about my credentials, right? Because I can show you real work in the Black community, not no preaching. I'm so mad about that, man.
There's a powerful piece we can learn from this right now. So I'll be talking about Brother Reggie's credentials, man. I'll be coming down. Take note of that right now. Logic, I get on this conversation.
Hold up, you breaking up, man. You breaking, whoever's that is, you breaking up.
This is me. We're trying to speak a little
But
bit
the point is that you guys can do better. You guys can do more. I'm old. I'm
Hey,
washed up.
Reggie,
You can do more.
Reggie, let Mujasi go. Let Mujasi go. He had to talk kind of low.
Sorry about that, brother. I'll try to speak up as loud as possible. So this is a conversation that you and I had. Of course, we never came to conclusions because this is a layered topic that requires a lot. You're asking a question about Swahili and its relationship to Black empowerment and seeing if there's a correlation or a direct ties to it's deep because what you're doing is you're using that conversational catalyst to unpack a lot of things around identity, around orientation, around politics, culture, and all of those things. I think somebody earlier said, they said it's all puzzle. Might be a chef, but it's all truth. Very much. I think one thing that I can take with you to kind of, I wouldn't say validate, try to put myself in your shoes of your perspective, of your question is, how do we safeguard any movement